Pythagorean. Am I live? Yay! Yay! I looked up and boom, bam, we're live. My goodness. Hey, Lance, Dave, George, how are you guys doing? You staying cool? You know what? Today, just let my hair down. I've got just a channel t-shirt on, and we're just going to talk about whatever is on your heart, your mind, so long as it's not politics or religion, okay? Because I don't go into any of that on this channel, okay? But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what you guys have to say. So yeah, I'm just kind of wait to see who shows up. Yeah, I've got the blue dragon. Got the blue dragon. And hi, Rob. Hi, Troy. And I've got my t-shirt on. Cosmic Goddess Julianne t-shirt. So, and I have to change it to YouTube Coven rather than YouTube Gang, because I don't like gang, because that sounds too Californish. There's too many gangs there in California. So yeah, I'll say a Coven. It's more appropriate. And you guys, I brought a big thing of tea. We have King Capri. How are you doing, King Capri? I loaded up on the drinks, you guys, but I hope to God I'm not going to be doing all the talking. I hope you guys are going to be interacting. So you guys staying cool out there? Is it like really hot where you're at? I know like I'm melting, but that's okay. Nothing new there. Hi, Scott. How are you doing? We got my Kentucky dog. Hi. Are you new here, my Kentucky dog? Because I don't recall you being in the chat before. So yeah, we're going to talk about anything and everything as long as it has nothing to do with religion or politics, okay? Because that's not what my channel is about. But I like to talk about all of the unusual things that most people don't like to talk about. It could be paranormal activity. It could be about like manifesting, astrology. It can be about cryptids. It can be about all your spiritual experiences. I am a very spiritual person, and I do actually believe that everything begins in your spirit world, in your spirit life. And so I think I'm just going to kick things off talking about spirituality and then just kind of see where it goes from there. I will be paying close attention to the chat. This is totally going to be ad-lib. This is not at all going to be based on any notes that I normally have. Because usually I have a bunch of notes when I have do live streams or whatever. But this time there's no notes. We got Sydney Martell. Hi, Sydney. It's been a while. Where have you been hiding? 108 degrees, George. Holy smokestacks. That's just, yeah. I'm cringing, and I'm not even there where you're at, but I'm sure it's over 100 degrees where I'm at, or it's going to be sometime today. It's supposed to be hitting. Yeah, I'm just like, no. My spirit wants to recoil. So I know you guys, this is like 36 ounces of tea right here, homemade sweet tea. When I lived in the South, it rubbed off on me. I lived in Georgia way back in 1993 to 94, 95-ish. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. We got Rob, that Phoenix, looking strong behind. Yeah. This time, you know what? I'm not even doing my backdrop. So I wanted you guys to see the Phoenix behind me, because this represents Scorpio's transformations, and it should actually represent any sort of spiritual transformation that anybody goes through in life. You should always be rising back up from the pits of hell. You should always be coming back stronger and wiser and more spiritually sound and strong. It's kind of like, this is how okay, I just saw something in the chat, so I will get back to my thoughts in a second. Dave, hello. Oh my gosh, you super chat with a question. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Usually you don't even have a question for me, so this is cool. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you so much. Okay, this is Dave's question. How would you can I see it without my glasses? How would you describe discernment, Julianne? Wow, okay, so you've heard me talk about that in my live streams, haven't you? So you know what, I'm just gonna take these off while I'm describing. Yeah, I think that I did not talk about it in the depth that I wanted to, because a lot of times my live streams are about astrology. But we can talk about anything, well, almost anything. So my view on discernment goes past like the superficial version that maybe your pastor gives you in church, or maybe your mom or dad has spoke to you about. Maybe nobody even has a clue what discernment means, never heard the word. But to me, it's way deeper than just like discerning what is good for you, discerning spiritual things, what sort of spiritual energy out there is good or bad, discerning spirits in people. It is discerning that, obviously, but there's another layer to where when you become self-aware, 100% self-aware, okay, that takes work. You should be discerning which thoughts are yours and which thoughts are not yours. And so, because there is so many thoughts out there in the multiverse or the ether, whatever you want to call it, okay, we can tap into other people's thoughts. And a lot of times, I would say the majority of the time, to be honest here, you guys, most of the thoughts that we're thinking, or even the things that we're feeling, are not our own. So, okay, I'm going to give you an example of the term, what people say when they're falling in love, okay? Now, listen to the words that you're saying. That's what people need to really pay attention to, is the words they are actually saying. Falling, okay? That's a negative connotation right there. You should not be falling in love with anybody, not even yourself, okay? So the fact that, you're falling is already a negative energy right there. So in simple terms, instead of going like really, really deep into this, I think I just say that basically you are coming under somebody else's spell or somebody else's feelings. So say, for instance, because men fall in love quicker than women do, like way faster than women, especially like lust. And lust is a very strong feeling. It can feel like love, but it's not. Passion can feel like love, but it's not. Anyway, so like if a man sees a woman and he instantly has all these incredible, enormous feelings of lust and maybe love or whatever, okay? And he's directing all of those energies and thoughts onto her. But she's picking up all of that, maybe unconsciously speaking, of course, because she hasn't learned discernment and she's not self-aware. So all those thoughts and feelings that he is projecting onto her, literally become hers without her even realizing. One day, and this has happened to me, you guys, and maybe you guys can literally, we have Scorpio Mama. Hi, Scorpio Mama. Maybe you guys can actually, I missed you too. We missed you. All of us were just talking about you yesterday. So anyway, so what I was trying to say is that so now she feels like she can wake up one day and go, oh my gosh, I love this person. And it's literally like an overnight thing. Like one day she basically doesn't even know it exists. And the next day, oh my God, I think I love this person, but those feelings are not hers. This is a real thing, you guys. This isn't even a theory, okay? So people's thoughts and desires and feelings can become your own if you are not a self-aware person using discernment. And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean, because this has happened to me a million times. Okay. There's been men that I've worked around throughout my entire life that I would physically not ever be attracted to, no matter what, ever, 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 for many reasons. Okay. But say, for instance, I'm working with one of these men that on the outside, if I just saw him for just like a glimpse, like in a store, I would not even be attracted to this person. But I'm working around a man that I would not ever be physically attracted to, or even probably spiritually attracted to, but definitely not physically attracted to at all. And, I'm working with him for 6 months or whatever, or working around him, whatever. Okay. And I have no feelings of romance for him whatsoever. But he has got this major love crush on me. He's fallen in love with, or not fallen in love. He loves me, or he's in lust with me, or whatever it might be. Those feelings coming to a person who's not self-aware and using discernment can literally become my own instantly, almost overnight. I could wake up, and this has happened to me where I've woken up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these feelings for this person. They feel like they are actually your own. You can tell the difference unless you know yourself so well, and you are self-aware, and you are using spiritual discernment to know that those thoughts and feelings are not your own. If I was to see that same person and I casually walk by that person, like out in public, I wouldn't have any attraction towards that person. So you have to always be asking yourself, would I actually be attracted to this person if I had just walked by them in public, going into a grocery store or into a mall? Would I actually be attracted to a person just seeing them for 30 seconds or whatever in public? So there's so many layers to spirituality. So anyways, that is what I feel like discernment is on a little deeper level than what maybe you have heard or been taught. It's not just about discerning people's behavior, whether, they're a good person or a bad person, or a good-hearted or not, whatever, or discerning their intentions towards you. You're discerning whether they're even spiritually possessed. You're discerning whether those thoughts are your own. You're discerning their discernment is so much broader and deeper than what has been taught out there. So anyways, I need to keep track with the chat here. I wanted to answer your question as thoroughly as possible. I'm sorry if I got a little too deep on that, but I wanted to literally be honest about that. And so Scorpio Mama, yay, we got Scorpio Mama in the house. I bet you all are happy about that. I am. George says, crowds are too busy, gives me a headache. Oh my gosh. Right. I'm with you on that, George, because when I am around a lot of people, I feel everyone's energies, and most people are walking around in this cloud of negativity. They're hating on themselves. They're they're holding on to so much anger. They're holding on to so much negativity. And that energy is literally, affecting everyone around them. So I used to always be in crowds, especially when I was younger and my kids were really young and stuff. I was always out in the public, all the time. And then working around lots of people. But this day and age, if I don't have to be in crowded places or in public places, I won't. Because just the stares or the looks that I get, because of the way I look or the way I dress, or the way men look at me in a sexual way, I'm just I don't need that energy directed at me. Yes, I know now I can discern when other people's feelings and thoughts are coming my way. And look, when you become very self-aware and all-aware, especially all-aware, you'll just know, you know what, I wasn't interested in this person a day ago, and now I'll wake up and now I've got all these feelings for them. Where the hell did these feelings come from? I was never even attracted to that person. They were just a friend. They were someone I just talked to. I thought was a cool person. And now I wake up and bam, I'm having all the feels. I'm falling in love. No, you don't want to be falling for anyone. You want to be consciously aware and make a decision to actually love somebody from a pure heart, from your heart, okay, not from their desires. Because once that spell wears off, and believe me, it does. I've been under a ton of men's spells because of the way that I look. Men just like fall in love with me. And I'm not saying that because I'm full of myself, but it's my experiences in life. And this happened much more when I was younger. And I really thought that what I was feeling was actually my own feelings. It wasn't. And when the spell wears off and you're like, oh my God, whew, I married this. Oh, I'm with this. What? I'm dating this person. Oh God, I would have never literally, it's like the spell, the cloud dissipates one day. It doesn't last forever, especially when that other person, is falling in love with somebody else. They fall in love with you, but then they're falling in love with this girl and that girl. And so this spell does wear off eventually. And then you start seeing the truth of it all. And you're like, ooh, what the hell? It's almost like that drunk person who goes to the bar, or gets drunk and then take home some girl or some guy. And they wake up the next day and they're like, oh my God, what the hell was I with this? You were in a trance, a spiritual trance, and you weren't yourself. And you wake up to somebody, you're like, holy, what does this person do? What the heck? Yuck. Oh no. So yeah, it's kind of like the same type of thing, not that I've ever done that, you guys, but I know a lot of men have done, a lot of people I know, they'll go to a bar, pick up a girl, but when they're drunk, that person looks beautiful and perfect. But then when they wake up to them the next day, you're like, oh, this is a troll next to me. Oh my God. When did I bring home a troll? Yeah. So yeah. So what do you guys really want to talk about today? What's on your mind? You want to talk about Dog Man? You want to talk about the rakes? You want to talk about Sasquatch? What you want to talk about? Manifesting your desires, how to go about it? What is it? What's on your mind? Because we're not just going to talk about, it doesn't have to be about astrology, you guys. So Scorpio Mama, please be safe out there. Never argue with a fool. Exactly. That is such wisdom right there, Scorpio Mama. Never even waste your precious energies talking to a fool. Just walk away. Save your energies in peace. Let them go live in their own hell, because believe me, they're living in hell. So, let's see, Scorpio Mama, I told Han nothing is up for discussion. Everything is up for discussion except for religion. So I'm not going to be talking about religion, and we're not doing politics. Okay. If you want politics, go to a politic channel or whatever's out there, So yeah, Scorpio Mama says energy vampire. Yeah. You know it. There's tons of energy vampires out there at work. You go to work, they're there. You can just go to the post office. There's energy vampires there. It doesn't matter where you go. It's like, let's see here. So George says, wish someone would put a spell on me to attract women. Do you want to know the key to attracting? Let's talk about this briefly, because I'm glad you brought that up, George. Hi, James. I want to say hi to James. I'm going to see new people strolling in. So, George, if you really want to attract a woman, the number one thing to attract a woman, for women, it's not about the way you look. Okay. Yeah, that can catch somebody's eye. Okay. The way you look catches somebody's eyes, right? But can you capture their heart? Okay. Because lust does wear off. So if you truly want a good woman, and I mean a pure woman with a pure heart who has got nothing but pure intentions for you, a good moral woman, okay, who's upright and just in her spirituality, who's also confident and self-aware. For men, if you want to attract a woman, the number one thing is be very confident in yourself. And I mean, spiritually speaking, I'm not talking about walking around like you've got, like you just came out of the gym, and you can't fit your shoulders. I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm not talking about being conceited. I'm talking about having a real pure love for yourself, acceptance for yourself in all your quirky ways, and being confident in who you are spiritually speaking. Spiritual confidence for me is the most sexy, most attractive thing a man can own. And if a man is passionate about what he believes, oh my God, I'm sold. Okay. And it doesn't matter. I mean, he could totally believe in something really kooky, but as long as he's passionate and he's, yeah, I mean, just that passion. But the confidence is number one. And I'm not talking about being arrogant and walking around pompous, like you're just above everybody else, like, oh, you're looking down. No, I'm not talking about that because there is a big difference between actually, loving yourself and accepting yourself, your flaws and everything else. And then going, you know what? I know who I am. Yeah, I'm not all perfect and all that. Maybe I'm with a perfect body or whatever. But you know what? Spiritually speaking, I'm 100, I'm 100 out of 100. I'm going there. I know who I am spiritually, so, that's it. I'm giving you a lot of things to think about, George. And believe me, like women, maybe the younger generations are more about the physicality. The younger women they're not all there anyways. The younger generations, I don't even want to talk about, we can talk about the younger generations, but they're a spiritually mature woman is looking for a spiritually mature, confident man, okay, who knows himself. I just don't ever chase after things that catch your eye. Always go after the things that catch your heart, okay, or your spirit. It's all about your spirit more than anything. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, George, because you want some spiritual confidence is so sexy on a man. So I'm just saying that's coming from a mature woman and not some young 20-year-old who doesn't even know herself. Okay. Who's still trying to find herself, who's probably, younger people are completely different, they're raised completely different. So, what do we have? Let's see. Rob says that's like the love spell Voldemort mother used on Tom Riddle. Right. Exactly. Yes. You don't really want to be under somebody's spell or mess with that sort of thing because it all wears off. It is not forever. Things that are forever are pure-hearted individuals. That's forever. Eternity. Your spirit, your soul is immortal, and your spiritual world is where it's at, you guys. So, James, how are you doing? Rob says, money. Okay, James, I'm an old, bald, and washed up. You're old and bald and washed up. Oh, no. That doesn't sound very confident, though. I know you're probably just like saying that because you accept yourself, but yeah. Rob says, cash app culture. Right, exactly. Yeah. George, no woman is all there. No woman is all there. Not sure what that implies. You'll have to elaborate on that because I don't think you've been around every single woman in the world, but you know what? Your thoughts do create. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I don't see anybody wanting to talk about anything in particular. So I guess I'm going to go off of what you guys say in the chat. And I'm going to be very, very, even though I want to keep this lighthearted, obviously, but I am passionate about certain things. And I will tell you this, your thoughts and your words do create your reality, period. So when you think there isn't a woman out there for you, believe me, there isn't going to be a woman out there for you because you've already spoken into existence and you truly believe it. So whatever you believe, that's where your energies go. Okay. So when you learn to suspend your disbeliefs and start reprogramming your unconscious mind, not your subconscious, your unconscious mind. That's where it's at. Your unconscious mind rules you, period. So that's why you need to know yourself. You need to go in the depths of hell into your unconscious and find out why you think the way that you think, why you are negative in the way you think. And it's way beyond astrology. Okay. This goes back to when you were a little kid. Okay. This is childhood stuff that you need to face. So negative people are going to generate a negative reality. Whatever you put your energies into, that's what's going to create. Your thoughts is an energy. Your thoughts are things. Things, your thoughts do matter, okay? Thoughts equals matter. Words, you're speaking everything into existence. If you say to yourself, or even in your head, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm bald, no one's gonna want me, blah, 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 you're right. And you need to learn that whatever you think about yourself is exactly what your reality is going to be. If you start learning and catching yourself with those negative thoughts, and you're like, no, we're going to spin this thing around. We're going to flip the script right now. And you start going in and you clean out all the cobwebs and all the shit that's in your unconscious mind. You check it, you accept it, you forgive yourself, forgive others, whatever it is that you have to do, forgive your mom and dad for being whatever, you need to do whatever you've got to do to get yourself right spiritually, because your reality is exactly what you believe it is. So whatever you think about yourself, there you go. And you can't run away from yourself either. So, you can change the environment. You can't change your soul. You can't change your beliefs. You can't run away from yourself. You can change your beliefs. That takes work. It takes you willing to do that. And like Rob just said, words are spells. Absolutely. Exactly. And you know what? Can anyone chime in and say, look, when I was being raised as a young girl, my mom always told me, don't you ever point your finger at me in anger. Do you know why she said that? Can you guys take a wild guess why my mom was so adamant about telling me, young lady, don't you ever point your finger at me in anger? What is this? What is this? It's a wand. It's a wand. When you are angry with somebody or have negative feelings and thoughts towards somebody, and you're pointing your finger at them saying, you're a SOB, you're a this and you're that, you are literally casting a spell, and not a good one, on that person. Your words are spells, and they have definitely jacked up the English language to make sure that we're always putting negative spells on ourselves and others. For instance, let me give you an example. Are you guys familiar with the word morning? When you wake up in the morning, you say, oh, hi, good morning. Good morning, George. Good morning, Lance. Good morning, to everybody you see. Do you know what that word morning actually means? Okay, there's two mornings, right? The morning when you mourn someone when they die. They just change a little word here or there. And now you're using it to say, good morning. No, you don't want to be telling people good morning. You're casting a spell on them to be mourning when they wake up. And of course, when people pass away, what have they done in the past? They've had wakes, right? Wakes. And so now we're saying when we wake up, we're basically saying when we celebrate our death, okay? You guys, you have to pay attention to the words you're using. That's why, like in my community posts, I never say good morning or whatever. I always say happy Friday or whatever. Okay. Or I'll say happy sunrise Monday or something like that. Something that has nothing to do with the word morning in it. Because I'm not going to be waking up, celebrating my death awake. Okay. Because awake means celebrating someone's passing away into the other realm. So basically, when we wake up from our dream state, which really isn't, because right now, this is our dream state. So when we're waking up from our dream death, and then telling everybody and ourselves, oh, it's morning. No, we're not. What are we mourning? What are we supposed to be mourning? You guys. So anyways, enough of that. Let me check the chat and see what you guys are saying. So yeah, your thoughts are things. So be careful of what you think about. Dave, you will meet a good one at church, James. You can meet okay, that's awesome, Dave. You're awesome. James, I have an awesome lady in my life who accepts my baldness. Oh, that's awesome. She loves you for who you are. And a good woman will do that. They won't care what their man looks like. If that man treats that woman like a goddess and loves her like truly from his heart and everything, she will know and she'll treat him back. You know, there has to be the mutual honor and respect right there between two people. George says, I go hunting on our property, and before daylight, I hear footsteps in the leaves that always walk up behind me in my stand. Ooh. First 3 to 4 times I thought rats or, you know, raccoons, right? But have had twice whatever continue. So basically there's been like twice that you had no idea like what was coming up behind you. You know what? Let's kind of switch gears now, because since you've mentioned this about like hunting and having like phantom steps or phantom entities like maybe coming up, I will just say that from all of my research that I have done, yes, I do love cryptids, you guys. You know, the Sasquatch community. I love David Paulides and Scott Carpenter, who he passed away, unfortunately. He actually had evidence. They actually collected hair of Sasquatch. But the thing with Sasquatch and these entities is their hair is not the same as our hair. Every species has a very unique kind of hair. Okay. And now the hair of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever you want to call it from your culture. Okay. Whoever's listening out there, because I know everyone has their own names and terms for the same entity. However, with Sasquatch and I believe dogmen or the lycanthrope, werewolves, whatever. Okay. Lycanthrope, werewolves, dogmen, there is different kinds. However, their hair is so different and so unique that it literally reflects light away. It's basically, they're cloaked. They are cloaked because of their fur. It's like having, you know, like in Harry Potter or whatever, the military actually has these. They have like this thing that they put around themselves where all you see is the background, because it's reflecting away like the light or whatever. So like all you see is a background. So it's like literally a cloaking, a cape that's a cloak. So basically their fur is like that. It literally reflects away, right? You know, their, whatever they are, their body, it reflects all that away. And so all you see is the background. So you guys are aware that our eyes are very limited, right? You guys are aware of that also. Okay. So not only do these cryptids have very different hair, they're completely different species, different hair, everything. But on top of that, our senses are very restricted. You can just say they're retarded and stunted, okay? Because a dog and a cat can damn well see what's out there, okay? Their vision is superior to ours. They can see the unseen. I can see now. I've actually, like literally, I can see entities all around me now, but most humans can't. And they've been programmed not to see. But animals can definitely see what's there that most humans cannot see with their limited vision, okay? Because our spectrum is like this, like if you were to take a human's eyesight, let's say we have this little short window, what we can see. Now a cat's might be like this, okay? And a dog maybe more, I don't know. But I know that they can see and definitely different, you call it spectrums than we can. And I mean, this is all proven facts. This isn't stuff I'm pulling out of my ass, you guys. I have been doing research for like millennia, for decades on stuff. So I'm chock full of like all this information, but I base a lot of my information on actual facts or my own personal experiences, which I don't care if people believe my experiences or not. I believe them. That's all that matters, right? It's my world, whatever. So, but yeah, I definitely believe that there's different species out there. Now, people, you know, like what I think is that like the mainstream media, you know, they're gonna propagate aliens and all that stuff like that. Surely they're alien the fact that we weren't taught that they existed. We were taught when we were kids that werewolves don't exist and Sasquatch don't exist. It's only in movies, right? Wrong. The movies show us exactly what's out there, period. So anyways, that's my own spill there. But George, you just never know what was coming up behind you. It could have been any numerous amounts of different entities and species that are out there. Okay, you have to really open up your mind and realize that not every creature, even animals, have different gifts than humans do. We're all unique. Animals are unique in their own species. Humans, there's different species of humans. There's mankind, there's humans, there's different kinds of humans. There's even like your drone type humans or synthetic humans that have like synthetic silicone skin. There's so many different species of, there's soulless mankind people, drones. There's, you name it, they're out there. So yeah, keep your head on a swivel is all I can say, you guys. So anyways, have you guys had any experiences with any of these cryptids? We have you heard about, okay, so George says, and Rob says it's like Predator. Yeah, exactly. You're right on that, Rob. Missing 411 is very interesting. Oh yeah, definitely. Are you talking about like the movie that David Pleitis did? He like created like 3 different movies, but like him and Scott Carpenter actually got actual hair from a Bigfoot. Okay, so yeah. So George says, have you heard about the drones that attack Barksdale in Louisiana? Really? I live an hour south and have been seeing 300 to 400 drones landing across lake. I called Homeland Security. Oh, wow. Right, yeah. Yeah, so it's probably like either they're going to be drones from China, Russia, our own drones. They're experimenting on us. That's, yeah, I'm definitely aware of the drone phenomenon that's going on. And it's not a phenomenon. I mean, I'm just saying that because it's the simplest way to say it. But like drones are collecting intel. It's experimenting on the population. It's, to me, no matter what, no matter if they're China's drones or Russia's drones or our own drones, it's military related, period. Doesn't matter if it's our actual like military, as far as the military branches that you guys are aware of, or the black ops military, the military militia that you guys are not aware of. So either way, it's military related. There is a spiritual war always going on, you guys. So what you see on the outwardly, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes in the spiritual world, the world that most people cannot see. And so literally, I wouldn't worry so much on what's going on out there. There's nothing you can do about that. That's not your reality. It's not your choice. It's not your duty to try to save the world anyways. Your duty is to save yourself. Okay, period. That means you need to level up, period. Your spiritual life, that is, not your material accessories. Okay, you're not supposed to be leveling up your material world. You're supposed to be leveling up your spiritual world. That's all you're supposed to be. You should be worried about that, period. Because you do create your own reality, and you can accept other energies or totally say, no, I don't accept this. Whatever is out there is other people's worlds colliding with yours. Everyone else out there that has a soul has an imagination. They have their own thoughts. They have their own desires, their own passions, and our worlds do collide with other people's. So you have to be willing. That's why you have to be very self-aware. You have to know yourself so dang well and deeply. You have to learn discernment and know, okay, is this thought actually my own thought? Or is this like, Tammy Sue's thoughts that she's having? Or is this, my mother's thoughts? Or is this my brother's thoughts? Or is this somebody else out there random's thoughts? That's how we get our instant downloads, is that we're like tuned into the multiverses. And that means everyone's got their own verses and thoughts going on inside their heads. And that's why I call it the multiverse. Your universe is your thoughts and stuff going on inside of your head. Okay, you are your own single universe, but then you are colliding with a lot of other people's universes. I call it the multiverse. Okay, that's the way I look at it. And that's how I have seen things in my out of body experiences. So, but yeah, I actually I've heard about the drones, George. To get back to your question, like the drones that were in New Jersey and that, but I didn't hear about them in Louisiana. I haven't heard about that. So, I don't know what to say. Like, I really don't put my energies out there and scatter them into what other people's worlds are, because I need to focus on building my own reality and making my spiritual life the way that I want it. So I don't concern myself with whatever other people are doing out there, because they're creating their own realities, and I'm not going to spread my energies. That takes away from my life force. Heck no. I'm keeping all of my energies on my world, so I think it can be interesting and entertaining to see what other people are imagining in their realities, what they're conjuring up in their realities, because everyone is conjuring up some type of reality all the time, period, with their thoughts. Oh, that tea is so good. Ooh, 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 ooh. Are you guys jelly? Are you guys jelly? I'm just kidding, you guys. A little schoolgirl comes out in me once in a while. I feel like I'm like 7 years old back in elementary school. Anyways, so Rob Smiley says, my third eye is wide open. Really? So my question for you, Rob, is like, if your third eye is completely wide open, then you should be able to see like everything all the time, like be all seeing, right? So you're talking about color spectrums. So if your third eye is open, then you're just seeing like many different color spectrums that most people can't see. Like, what is your definition, Rob, of like having your third eye open? Like, what do you think that means to you? Is my question to you, Rob. So yeah, if you guys are interested in cryptids, and like I am, because I love cryptids and I love dogmen, they're my favorite. I was gonna say Scott Carpenter, but he passed away not too long ago, which is unfortunate. But his son is carrying on. He's taken the torch and carried on. But definitely, who talks about dog? Oh yeah, Jeff Nadolny and Vic Cundant at Dogmen Encounters on YouTube. Dogmen Encounters, Vic Cundant. He's my favorite. His personality is great. He actually has people on that have real encounters with dogmen or werewolves. He does have a separate podcast that's just for Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever. So he has two separate channels. One is the Dogman Encounters on YouTube, Vic Cundiff. The other one is Jeff Nadolny. He does the paranormal activities with dogmen and Sasquatch and all that too. But Vic Cundiff is probably my favorite. The stories on there are just, they'll blow your freaking mind. I mean, especially if you're not even aware that dogmen even existed or are lycanthropes or werewolves or whatever. So, yeah, that's just if you're interested in cryptids and stuff. And of course, if you're interested in like the missing cases, David Paulides at Can-Am, the Can-Am Project, David Paulides. Then if you like the strange, dark, and mysterious, you can always go to, of course, Mr. Ballin's channel. He is a megastar now. He used to be in the Navy SEALs serving our country. But he is an amazing storyteller. He does actually talk about real life stories, the strange, dark, and mysterious. He's also one of my favorites. So I just want to put those out there for you if you're into some of the similar things as I am. So when I'm not preparing, they usually late at night, before I actually am trying to go into a trance, I'll listen to Mr. Ballin, or I'll just listen to like Elmer Locklear's channel about like thinking about the how to manifest, millions of dollars, that sort of thing. Like I listen to positive things before I go to sleep. So what else is going out there with you guys? Scott, I got a drone. Scott, you have a drone? Yeah. I don't have a drone. I'm not really into drones. I think that they're great, like if you're out there like camping or like sightseeing, that sort of thing, and you want to like see different areas. I think they'd be great for certain, things like that. But if you're using it to spy on your neighbors, yeah, don't like that. No. Of course, I'm not saying what you use it for, but like a lot of people, you do use them for their projects, like if they're going hiking or camping, or they're going to the Grand Canyon or wherever, then that's pretty awesome to have something like that. That's a useful tool to help you get into areas where you can't hike into. And let's see. Yeah, Rob says people have different worldviews. Absolutely. That's why I like to hear, like, even if I don't agree with what other people say, I love to listen to what they have to say, because there might be a little nugget of truth that what they're saying is a piece of the puzzle that I'm missing. Because there is a lot of people that I listen to out there that I don't agree on every single thing that they're saying. There might be bits and pieces of what they're saying that I'm like, yes, that resonates with me, that resonates with my experiences, that sort of thing. But then I discard everything that I don't believe in. Or even better than that, I investigate it. Usually I investigate. If I'm like, I don't know if I actually believe what they're saying, but you know what, I'm going to investigate it because I'm curious. What if? So, because everyone has different life experiences. Everyone has gone through different things in life. Everyone has seen different things. People have researched different things. I don't know. I always tell people, I know nothing. My mind is open, but I know nothing. I actually just like to share my own personal experiences. I base a lot of what I believe or think, and my beliefs are always changing depending on if I have plans. Like if I came face to face with a dog man, I'm just being like, I'm not going to be thinking about taking his picture, obviously. I'm going to be thinking like, I need to be like running for my life, but wow, he's beautiful. Okay, bye, And so, yeah, I base a lot of things off of either my experiences or somebody credible next, that I know that's had an experience, and I know that they're definitely not a liar. You're a very credible source. I have to scroll back up. I think I'm missing some. I hope you guys are saying some good stuff. George says, they say not our drones, but I see helicopters landing there. Okay, so they are actually admitting they're not our drones. Yeah, I would see, my gut tells me, based on my visions, is that they're Chinese drones. China has pretty much taken over many countries, you guys, and I don't think you're aware of them. China owns the United States. The big kahuna general lives in Texas, next to our supposed military base. Okay, so you guys, yeah, China's taken over like a big portion of the world. You guys probably aren't even aware of that. When they own your corporations, they own your ass. Okay, so yeah. But yeah, China is taken over Canada. They've taken over Australia. They've taken over a ton of countries, a ton, not just one here or there, a lot. And they have definitely taken over the United States, most of it. So, yeah, they own a lot of big corporations. And if they don't own every single they don't own every single corporation out there. But they own big ones in the United States, big time. And what pisses me off is why the hell is like the highest China's army general living in Texas? What the hell? Get his ass out. Unless he wants to become a U.S. citizen. No, he's actually a Chinese citizen living. He has this huge, like, I don't know, what was it, 300 acres of land in Texas? I'm like, I'm not prejudiced, but if you aren't a U.S. citizen, your ass needs to be back to where it belongs. If you're visiting, that's different. But if you think that you can just come here and buy up everything and not become a U.S. citizen and abide by the United States laws, nah. But anyways, China does own a lot. You can actually, it's verifiable. You can actually look it up, you guys. I'm not just making this shit up. But yeah, and that's not really political. That's military. So you know what? I won't get into politics, but that is actually a military thing. And I'm pretty up to speed on military shit that's going on. But as far as the drones in Louisiana, George, I didn't hear about that particular one. I don't listen to media because it's bias, it's propaganda. They tell you a kernel of truth and then then they totally give you the theatrical view that they want you to believe, okay? Which has nothing to do with the actual reality. So, let's see. I'm still scrolling back up, you guys. So Rob says, I utilize positive affirmations. Exactly. That's exactly the best thing to say. And if you guys really want to learn how to manifest your dream woman, your dream man, money, your dream house, your dream land, whatever it is, your dream career, your health, you want to manifest the way you look, go into my older videos. All you have to do is click on my channel and just hit on the videos, and then there's a little, you can drop down and go to my older videos, like the oldest videos, and I started my YouTube channel on manifesting. I actually have some really important things that I talk about. I do talk a lot slower in those videos because I was still learning. I was getting used to looking at my face, not that I think that I'm ugly or anything, but it's just it doesn't even matter how I look, you guys. It's just a matter that I'm looking at myself. And that was just so weird for me. So I was kind of like a deer in headlights. You can tell if you look at my older videos and you look at how I am now, you're like, oh my God. Because I was looking at myself and I don't know, this is weird. It's weird. You have to get used to looking at yourself when you're doing videos. And I wasn't used to that. I was used to being in front of people, but when I would stand up in front of 400 people at work, there wasn't a mirror in front of me where I was looking at myself while I'm talking to my colleagues, so you really, if you're not comfortable, looking at yourself for 8 to 10 minutes or longer, YouTube is not for you. So I had to get over that, and get comfortable looking at myself. I really had no problem talking. As far as that part was not the issue. It's just, I don't hold a mirror in front of myself 24/7. So anyways, if you guys really, I can talk about manifesting today if you guys have any questions, but I will tell you the fastest way to manifest what you want is you need to learn to harness your heart's emotions. That is the fastest way you can manifest. If you want next to, I can't say, as close to instant manifestations, because nothing is completely instant. There's a delay, but you can get really close to instant manifestations is harnessing your heart's emotions. And I'll just leave it at that. You can go in and listen to the video I created about that. I have a lot of facts and stuff embedded in all of my videos. Usually are backed up with facts, not just pulling crap out of my ass and just going, let's see if this sticks. I'm no. Yeah. So and of course personal experiences too. So people that have pure hearts, truly have pure hearts, you are going to be invincible and impenetrable towards negative entities, including spirits that can actually possess your body. When you have a pure heart and you walk around in that pure energy and vibrations of a pure heart, you are invincible and you are powerful beyond what I can even tell you. You walk in negativity, whether you're down on yourself or other people, you are creating your own hell, your own imprisonment in hell. You will live in hell. Now, you don't have to pass away to live in hell, okay, or a version of hell. You can live in hell now, depending on your thoughts and what you believe about yourself and others. So yeah, you all have the power if you have a soul, that is. And some people don't have souls. Then I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. But you literally become invincible if you always resonate with a pure heart. If every action and thought you have is from a pure heart, you are invincible. I'm not saying that you won't be challenged, but when you have negative thoughts and stuff trying to bombard you like constantly from other people that are jealous of you, or maybe don't like the way you walk or you talk or you dress or whatever, just negative energies coming at you for whatever reason, they'll just like bounce right off of you. When you have a pure heart energy, that is the highest vibration you can have. It is the most important thing, and that is your heaven. That is your heaven. So when you step out of that energy and start doing things that are not in pure love, you are now in hell, period. So anyways, these are just things that I've experienced. I'm not making this stuff up. So what do you guys have for me? Come on. What do you guys have for me? So Scott says, I can see some people's colors. So basically, Scott, if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that you can see like auras around people. No, I'm sorry, you guys, if you hear my phone, because I forgot to turn it off. Bummer. I'm not expecting anything important, but I'm just going to turn the volume down. So, Scott, yeah. So, yeah, like there is people out there, and it sounds like you're one of those people that can actually see like a type of aura around somebody. That's really awesome. That's a really cool gift. I can't say that I see auras around people. I feel people's vibrations, and I have an instant knowing about somebody's condition of their heart and their soul. But I don't necessarily see colors around people. So I think that's a really awesome gift to have. I would love to be able to, I think, maybe I could teach myself to be like that. But yeah, everyone has their own gifts. And I think that even if you have a soul, you can develop other gifts too. It's not like you're limited. I think if you really want to learn other gifts, you can learn them if you so desire, especially if it's in your pure hearts. So George is saying, yes, Rob, I've been studying how to combat drones with EMP. Awesome. I like that. King Capri, I am one with the world for the good and bad. You kind of sound like an Aquarius. You're not an Aquarius, are you, King Capri? Rob, and that's not a bad thing, because Aquariuses, they're all about like trying to save the world and the bees and the trees and all that. Lance, when I first moved to, okay, so Lance says, Ariel Robocups. Lance says, when I first moved to Lake Almanor, awesome, I know exactly where that is, there was a sab squash roaming the woods from an experiment gone bad. Oh, wow. One night camping alone, it was not a joke. Oh, gosh. Do you, like, if you guys do go out camping, which I think I love camping and that sort of thing, but do you guys take get a, what do you call it, a personal tracker, a beacon, or what are they called? They track your location, and do you make sure that you bring like your packing, you know what I'm saying, like magazines, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be going out there unarmed and not protected, okay? They are a real thing. They really do exist. And just because we can't see them because of the fact that they have a completely different type of hair that reflects everything away from them, so you can't, they're basically are wearing an invisibility cloak because of how their hair is. Like literally their hair has scales, like a type of scale on them. It's not like human hair or dog hair or any other kind of hair. It's very unique. Very, very, very unique. Scorpio Mama, God is controlling everything from the wheel. There you go. I'm glad you're here, Scorpio Mama. We really did miss you. Scott says, I got a drone. Okay, so I went, how did I miss some of these comments? Rob Smiley says, electric magnetic pause, you living like the Matrix. There you go. Yeah, the Matrix is definitely something I believe. What's going on here, you guys? Hold on, I gotta check something real quick because there's something going on outside and I'm like, oh, okay, it was FedEx. Okay. I was like, man, yeah. I normally don't like have my phone on when I'm doing a live, but so George says, okay, no, wait, hold on, you guys. So Rob says, yep, I can see beyond the veil. That's awesome. Yeah, I can too. I just can't, I haven't learned to develop the sense of seeing like people's auras. So maybe it's just because I'm just seeing a bunch of drones and biohacks and synthetic humans. Rob Smiley, yep, I can see beyond the veil. I can see people's aura colors. Scott says, I can see some people's colors. So Rob says, so I guess that's what it means for me that I can identify. Okay, that's cool. No, I appreciate you like clearing that up and clarifying. George says, I have people come up to me and ask, what am I? They never seen my aura color. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Most witches. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. What color do they say that your aura is? If they say it's different than what they've seen, like, do they tell you like an actual color that they're seeing? James says, swamp people said my aura is a purple and it pulsates. Swamp people. Are you talking about the swamp thing? Rob says, I don't stalk, I Baywatch. Oh my God. George says, I've never had anyone be able to tell me my aura color. They just say it's loud and different. Oh, I bet. With your particular astrology placements, holy yes, you were full of like very fiery energy. Like seriously, because now you've got that tons of Scorpio ice and fire energy because Scorpio is ice and fire. And then you've got fire. Okay. You've got the Aries and the Leo. So you've got a ton of like really powerful energy. So yeah, it's totally, I would call it like screaming at people. Yeah. I can just imagine like how passionate of a person you must be, especially when you are pushed, like yeah, I can just imagine. So Rob says, golden nuggets of wisdom. Yeah, we're dropping golden nuggets of wisdom. Scott says, no spying. I live in the country. James says 11/15. What? Okay, so you guys are giving your birth dates. Okay, so James, you're November 15th. You're a third decan Scorpio, so you've got the added influence of Cancer. George is 11/13, right? That's your birthday is November 13th. Awesome. 13 is my favorite number. Rob says 11/6. You guys are like, wow, boom, boom, boom. Wow. Okay. All righty. So, and then James, your twin daughters are November 7th. Oh, wow. Okay. So they're second deacon Scorpios. Scott's 11/11. Oh, wow. Okay. Got some master numbers going on there. Okay. Rob, I could go for an egg roll. Just get on the floor and start rolling. So Lance says self-protection, the equalizer. Pew, pew. Smooth operator. Scott, but nobody ever, wait, but not everybody, I can only see certain people. Okay, so Scott, you're saying that you can only read certain people's auras, not everybody. I'm not really good at it, he says. I guess I don't know. Yeah, maybe some people are just not that, to me, from my instant knowing about people, That's my gift, is I have an instant knowing about people, whether they're soulless or heartless or black hearts, whatever. Like, there's so many zombie-fied people out there. I call them showroom dummies. They don't have souls. They're just walking around like literally dead, spiritually dead. Like, they're just dead. Okay. They're like this all day. Oh, wait. Whether it's on their phone or their computers or whatever, they're just a bunch of showroom dummies that are just, I call them zombified showroom dummies. You're like, you're knocking in, but nobody's home. There is no light on, folks. It ain't Motel 6. No lights, nothing, dead inside. But oh my gosh, you'll see them doing this all day, looking down, being programmed. We got Kentucky Trailer Man. Hello, Kentucky Trailer Man. Your birthday is October 24th, Kentucky Trailer Man. I'm glad you showed up, by the way. Yay. Oh, Kentucky Trailer Man. Let me go up here. George says, several Bigfoot movies filmed here on the lake I live on. Creature from Black Lake screams of a cold winter night. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's pretty cool that they made movies about Bigfoot there. That's pretty cool. Kentucky Trailer Man, like that hat, Julian. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have to finish this hat. I got to add some bling to it. This is the beginning stages of this hat. If I wear it again, it'll probably have some more bling on it. I got to bling it out, you guys. To me, this is boring. But I got my blue dragon on there, so thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, eventually it's going to be all blinged out. It's going to be, like Rob calls it, bedazzled. So George says, I have Mars, Neptune, and Mercury in my 8th house. Oh, let's not talk about that, George. You know who rules the 8th house, right? Scorpio. But you know what? Mars is in its home. That's fine. That's good. Right? Neptune and Mercury in the 8th house. That's going to be very interesting right there. So Scorpio, Mama, Kentucky, I'm 29. Oh, you're barely hatched, Scorpio, Mama. Rob, I can read everybody's aura color. And Rob says empty vessels. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. There's a million of them everywhere. It doesn't matter if I go to the store. It doesn't matter where I go. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a gas station down the road. Or, no matter. I'm just like, when people walk by me, it's just like they're empty. Like I see nothing in their eyes or in their soul or in like they're, to me, just like these dead NPCs. Like there's, just stay asleep, because I wouldn't want someone to wake up if they're not meant to wake up. Yeah. Kentucky Trailer Man, need a glass scorpion snuggling the dragon. There you go. That's a good idea. A glass scorpion snuggling. That would be awesome. I wonder if I could create something like that. That's a good idea. I like that. That's food for thought. You guys have any, while we're doing this live, do you guys have any video requests you would like? It could be, like I said, anything. The video can be anything other than, of course, like I said, politics or religion. I don't do those sorts of videos on here, you guys. Sorry, but no. I can do the unusual paranormal stuff, the cryptid stuff. I can do manifesting stuff. I can do relationship stuff, how to have a great relationship. I can give you tools. I can talk about, obviously, astrology. I can talk about numerology. I can talk about the Pythagorean system you can use to use your full name to find out your destiny and expression, that sort of thing. Your life expression or destiny, which I plan on making those videos anyways, because I've got, you see this? Oh, it's probably opposite, but it says numerology right there. I do have the books, you guys. I mean, I have so many books, like I have so many that I have to dig out, like I have still in boxes and stuff. Rob says, I stay in front of a cemetery. I've seen hellhounds run inside it at night. Wow. Hellhounds. As I said, they're extinct. Not in the spiritual world, they're not. Guys, hold on. I've got to put some lubricant on my lips. Again, it's my Burt's Bees. Yeah. Got to wax those babies up. Okay, so Scorpio Mama. Oh, you said I wish I was 29 years old. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, didn't. I misread your comment. Scott says my chart looks like a basket. Is that bad? So your natal birth chart looks like a basket? Well, unless I actually am looking at it visually, I can't say anything about it. But if you think something's bad, it will be bad. I don't see things through that sort of a lens. I see things as like from an observer perspective. A lot of people see things as they are, as they view themselves. I don't see any sort of like bad, especially if I'm not looking at something. But but that's really, I would say, interesting. Is I'm curious now. But yeah, I don't think the shape of an astrology chart has anything to do of whether there's anything off about it, or askew. I definitely wouldn't use the word bad. Definitely would not use that word. Now, if that was in the shape of a ratchet, I wouldn't even say that it's bad. I would say, wow. Just kidding, you guys. It's in the shape of a basket. So, I mean, what? There's nothing negative about a basket, right? Anyways, Rob says, I love numerology. Scott, me too. I wish I was that young. Okay, so you're talking probably to Scorpio Mama. Kentucky Trailer Man, you're talking. All right, Lance says Scorpio. Okay, so this is all caps. Lance says Scorpio through time. Scorpio through time, an episode of each Greek, Roman, Egypt, etc. One to bring them all together in a modern perspective. Is this a video you are requesting of me, Lance, or many videos that you're requesting for me to do, like how Scorpio was viewed through Greek mythology and then Roman mythology and then Egypt mythology, and then like one to bring them all together like in a modern perspective? Is that what you're saying? Would you like to see all of that like in one video? Or because I think I can do that all in like one live stream, but I can break them up too and do like Scorpio through Egyptian astrology, Scorpio through Greek astrology. I mean, that would be very interesting. I mean, I want to make sure that I'm on the same page as you, Lance. So am I reading your chat message correctly? Because I don't want to like assume what you're saying, because I don't want to make an ass out of myself. Okay, so oh, Rob, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's hilarious. Scott, hellhounds drag souls to hell. There you go. Yay. Thank you, Scott. Dave, oh my gosh. Again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Always a great show, Julianne. Thank you. You're welcome, Dave. I appreciate you too. Yeah, I appreciate all of you for being here. You guys make this so fun and enjoyable. I just love it. I love the interaction. I love the stories. You guys can just keep, continue, telling your little experiences or stories or whatever. It helps like take me in the direction that you guys, I'm just kind of like, I'm just like feeding off of what you guys are putting in the chat and just kind of going with that flow until somebody else has something else to say that might take me in a different direction. But yeah. George says, I've manifested before, but still trying to control it. It's too sporadic. Okay, so basically, I'm going to finish reading your chat or your message first, and then I'll try to see. I'm going to do like drive-through communication. Lately, I've seen a black cat in my house that runs through walls. Okay. I've had 3 others see it as well, and I hadn't told anyone. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. I've seen things also go through my walls and stuff like that, entities. So yeah, I believe that based off of my own personal experience, and I've had a ton. There is, because like I was saying earlier, our eyesight is limited, like the spectrums in which we can see. Like there is times though that I believe that the veil is down for whatever reason, and we're meant to see certain things, but there is a spirit realm right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, all the time. You just can't see it. Believe me, it's freaking there. Anything that's had a soul that's passed, that means they're rid of their vessel body. That includes animals too, you guys. Cats and dogs have souls. Okay, so when they are relieved of their prison bodies, because that's what I call it, a prison body, then they have their etheric, crystalline soul body, which is immortal. Okay, which anybody who has a soul, who is actually a human, not a mankind, a human, has a soul. And so you are seeing the souls, or not the soul, just spirit, the etheric, crystalline spirit body of a cat or a dog or whatever. Or it could also just be people, in that realm, messing around with technology. But I know, like, constantly there is different entities all around me. I've seen them walk right past me and through my curtains and then right out the window. And a lot of them do look human, for sure. There are some that don't look human. They look more like a mantis type being. There's been, like, most of them are really beautiful though, like really beautiful entities is what I would say. Human looking, obviously, but some of them are not. Some of them are not human looking at all, at all, at all. They're more like stuff that you see in the movies, of course. But yeah, I think that that's what you are seeing is like the and I do believe that, like there is a loop that sometimes when people pass and they haven't dealt with their unconscious traumas, they haven't dealt with all of that yet, they take all of that into the other realm once they pass. And so they instantly manifest whatever they believe. And so that's why I am so adamant about encouraging people and teaching people how to get right with yourself now. Get your heart pure as you can get it. Like a kid, you want your heart pure like a child, and you want to deal with all of your fears and all your traumas and your unconscious mind and memories. You want to deal with all that. You want to get your heart right. And if you have a pure heart already, you want to keep it pure, okay? Like a child. And because if you have all this spiritual mire weighing your soul and spirit down, you are literally instantly manifesting that as soon as you are rid of this prison body. Once you're in the other realm with your etheric body, you are manifesting instantly whatever you believe. And you still take that consciousness of whatever you believe right now into the other realm. So get yourself right now. Get rid of your hell right now, so you're not instantly manifesting it once you are rid of this vessel body. To me, this is kind of like a time when you really need to get right. You don't wait until after you've passed, because then you're going to be, I still believe you still are going to be spiritually learning in the other realm, obviously. That's obvious to me, but you want to get right now, okay, before you actually pass. You are immortal if you are human, but once you are rid of all of this and rid of this matrix type realm we're in, or terrarium, whatever, you are going to be instantly like manifesting. So whatever you believe now, you are taking with you. So get rid of your shit now. Okay. I'm just saying. And you're being a pure heart. That's your heaven. That's your right there. And very few people have a pure heart. When you're operating out of a pure heart, you are in hell. Period. Your actions are no longer pure. They're not coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of selfishness and greed and all the other things out there. And I don't believe in the word sin, because sin just means to miss the mark. It's not like evil and bad and all that sort of thing. It's been mistranslated, and then of course it's been promoted as something evil. And sin does not mean evil. It means you've missed the spiritual mark, right? You're going down the road of greed. You have missed the mark. That's not why you're here. It's become greedier and become greedy and a greedy heart. No, you've missed the mark. Get back and get right and hit that mark straight on with pure love and a pure heart. To me, like Lance, I really believe that we are in purgatory. We are in these prison bodies. This is a time of purgatory where we're supposed to be like, okay, I'm examining myself. What is not right? Let's examine it. Let's pluck it. Let's get rid of it. Let's do whatever we got to do to get our spirit and heart pure and level our spirit up. To me, this is like a purgatory. And you can have heaven and hell right now if you want, but you're definitely going to have whatever you believe once you have shed this vessel. Things will instantly manifest. Okay. So if you do believe in hell, and you have all this negative thoughts and beliefs before you pass, it's going to manifest instantly as soon as you are, free of this body, of this vessel, whatever. Okay. Avatar, you can call it whatever you want, you guys. I call it many different things. To me, it's like in a prison body, an avatar body, a vessel, whatever. It's, to me, I feel like I'm trapped because I'm free. When I'm out of my body, I feel so free, and everything is just so awesome, like beyond words. So and I can see why people who actually like die, like clinically die, and are told that they're dead, and then they come back, like they're sent back or something. They don't want to come back here. And I'm like, I know, I wouldn't want to come back here either. Once, is enough. I feel like I've been here before. So, anyways, Scorpio Mama, that's crazy, family. Scorpio Mama, don't you have any like strange, dark, mysterious, otherworldly, paranormal, spiritual type stories or experiences? George, do you see souls as smoke clouds flying around? No, I don't. When I see a spirit or a soul, I actually see them as like their young version. In like its beautiful, like crystalline type body. It's not smoke. It's not smoke at all. And, they're just like, they're just there doing whatever, like it's not them flying. It looks like flying to us, but it's definitely not smoke. No, I actually do see them. Like it's really hard for me to explain unless you actually see yourself. But it was happening so much, you guys, like I literally had to consciously and spiritually put a filter on and say, look, this is driving me absolutely insane. I can't get anything done when all I'm seeing is these entities all around me all the time. If you guys, you could see the realm right here, the spirit realm, the other realms, you would literally go nuts. Like, I can't get anything done. I'm distracted with this entity and this spirit. And you would just like, it literally could just drive you absolutely crazy. And there's a reason why we can only see this much spectrum. Okay. Because if we were like animals and saw this much, or more than that, we wouldn't get anything done. We spiritually, oh yeah. Anyways, we'd be too distracted. So King Capri says, I'm a piece of heaven on earth. I like that. That's positive. I love it. Rob says, astral travel gives me that free feeling you speak of. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's something that I've been able to do since I was like 3.5 years old, is I've been able to have out of body experiences and astral travel. I have precog clairvoyance. You name it. I have pretty much all of those gifts, but I've had them since I was like 3.5 years young. I don't remember anything beyond like when I was younger than that. I just like 3.5 is like when I start remembering everything, all the crazy stuff happening to me. And then it just like escalated as I went throughout life, like all the gifts and stuff, and like all the visions and everything was just like too much. It just became too much for me. It was just happening like every single day and night. It was just like, oh, give me a break. So anyway, so yeah. Now, George, you were saying something about like, now if you're having, okay, let's look at, it's a simple thing. And I'm not trying to be like, I don't want to act like I'm being demeaning here at all, but it's very simple. Like whatever you believe, okay, like say for instance, and you're not self-aware, you're not a self-aware person, but you're trying to manifest your dream job, your dream woman, dream man, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, doesn't matter. But you're like, one day you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm going to manifest the man and woman of my dreams. They look like this, they're going to be like that, they're going to have all these qualities. But then the next day you're like, nobody was going to want me. Like, look at me, I'm fat, I got the furniture disease, my chest is now in my drawers. Like, who's going to want me? And then the next day, oh man, I am the cat's meow, and oh, I'm going to manifest my man or woman, and you know, blah, 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 everyone's going to want me. But then the next day, you know, so whatever your self-concept is and whatever your self-beliefs are is going to manifest. Like literally, this is what can happen to you, because this happened to me. This is a personal experience and many others. You can manifest the man of your dreams, even in a chaotic, thoughtful state like that. Okay. You will lose them just as fast. Okay. Because your thoughts are not consistent. So your reality is not going to reflect something that's consistent when your thoughts aren't consistent. If like for 1 week you're doing great and you believe, yeah, I'm going to get the man and woman of my dreams, and you wrote down on your notebook, they have to have red hair, they have to have blue eyes, they have to be faithful, they have to be honest, and you're like, yeah, and I'm going to manifest this person, and you do that for a whole week. But then the next week you're like, no man, no one's going to want me, I'm just like a blob, I don't, you know, like what do I have to give this person? And you're down on yourself and you just think you're the worst things that, you know. And then like a month later, you're back to, oh man, but no, I'm gonna, you know, your reality is going to reflect that same chaotic pattern, period. And yes, you can totally manifest your dream career, your dream person, even when you're spiraling, okay, or have this chaotic back and forth in your thoughts, okay? You, even when you're spiraling, you can manifest that, your dream woman or man, okay? And so, yeah, now you've manifested the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. But now your mind is all back into the negative spin cycle. And now it's like, oh my God, look at me. Why is she even with me? Like, she's gorgeous, but me, I'm like a dump. Like, I don't have anything to give. She's going to leave me for someone else. Oh my God. Boom. Next thing you know, she's off with Joe Blow at work. You manifested that with your thoughts, okay? you pushed her, you manifested her, then you literally manifested her right out of your life. So you have to, that should tell you something about your thoughts. You are a lot of people walk around not even aware that they're having these negative thoughts about themselves. Okay, they're not even self-aware that they're having these negative thoughts about themselves, because it's just happening in the unconscious realm in their brain, in their soul. That's why it's imperative that you know yourself at a spiritual level and you get down into the mire and the depths of hell, into your unconscious world, not your sub, your unconscious. That's what rocks, that's what literally controls your ship. So unless you're willing to go deep and take time to invest in yourself, you're going to have a very chaotic reality. Because you can be like, okay, I'm self-aware for a week and I'm really paying attention to my thoughts, and then spiral out of control for months and years later, and then lose everything that you just manifested. Yes, you can manifest what you want and you can lose it just as quickly, depending on your thoughts and your beliefs, okay? Because if you're a chaotic mess inside in your soul and your mind and your thoughts and your words, and you're casting spells on yourself all day long, I'm a nobody, I'm a nothing, nobody's gonna want me, I'm just like, I'm stupid, I'm ugly. You are manifesting that. You are creating that. That is not Susie Q's fault, okay? That is your fault, period. And if you're not self-aware, become self-aware, okay? That means you need to start paying attention. Like literally start really paying attention and catching yourself with those negative thoughts that are going on in your brain, because that's where it starts. Everything starts in your thoughts, okay? Thoughts are things. Thoughts are things, tangible things. You need to start with your thoughts. What are you thinking all day long? If you have to, get a journal. It's paper, pen, old school way, I know, you guys. And if you're not cool with old school, cool. I've got 4 phones, get one of those note thing apps, whatever, and start like literally putting down all of your negative thoughts, and then write down like how you're going to transmute those negative thoughts. So say, for instance, like you have caught yourself thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm so ugly, I'm overweight, no one's going to want me. And you catch yourself right literally in the middle of those negative thoughts. Write that thought down and then go, okay, well, I'm going to transmute this thought and say, no, I am the cat's meow. Every woman loves me. Do whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, okay? Whether it's a job or a person or money or whatever, okay? Transmute that thought and write down exactly what you want and exactly how you feel about yourself in a positive way. So say, for instance, you were thinking, oh my God, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm blah, blah, blah. No, you're going to write down, I have the most amazing, stout, sexy body. I've got a full head of hair. I've got, the women just line up for me. They literally are lined up taking numbers to be with me. Start talking about yourself in a manner that you want, okay? Whatever. You need to learn to transmute your energy, and Scorpios are the best at that. And that's why I'm bringing that to your attention, because Scorpios are the transmuters of energy. Especially when you transform into your like eagle stage, and then like later on your sorcerer stage, you just are taking all this negative energy everywhere, whether it's your energy, someone else, and you're transmuting it into what you want. That's all you do. You say, I don't accept this negative thought. I don't accept your negative words. This is how it's going to be. So say, for instance, Rob, I'm taking you because you're always here. This is hypothetically speaking. You're like, Julie, you know what? Your hair is just too damn long. Like, it's ugly. It's long. It's always in your face. Like, I can't stand the way that you look, the way you talk, whatever. Okay. And I'm like, no, Rob, I don't accept your words. I don't accept your energy. I'm actually the baddest, most beautiful, most gorgeous woman in all the worlds. And I have the most perfect hair. It's thick, it's natural, it's gorgeous. I don't accept what you say, period. I've already put a spiritual block right there, and I've transmuted your negative energy into what I want. That is what you're supposed to do. If someone does that to you, okay, say for instance, Rob, you tell your mom or family or friend, I'm going to be a business owner, which you shouldn't be telling anybody. But if you do make a silly little decision that you shouldn't be making, but I'm just saying, if you were to go like, hey mom, I'm going to start my own rocket ship business, or I'm going to have a dragon park and have a dragon business or whatever. Okay. And your mom's like, what? You think you're going to be a successful business owner? I don't think so. You don't have any degrees, Rob. Like, seriously, you're going to pull that degree out of a Cracker Jack box? What? How are you going to? You have no business skills. I don't see you making it, Rob. I don't know. Like, why are you choosing that? You don't have the experience. You don't have the, the 20 years of college behind you. Like, what the hell are you thinking, Rob? Okay, this is your mom now saying this to you. You can just be like, nope. Now, you can say this outwardly or inside your brain. It doesn't matter if you verbally say it or you internally say it. You just say, I don't accept what you're saying. Okay? A lot of times, it's just better to walk away and then internally say, I don't accept what you're saying, Mom. I don't accept your words. I don't accept your negative energy. And then inside, after you say that, you say, I don't accept what you're saying. Then you say inside your mind, or you can speak it out loud. It's up to you. I will be a business owner. I will be the best damn, most successful business Dragon Park owner this whole entire galaxy's ever seen. And it's going to happen, period. It's a done deal. And I command it so. That's what you do. That's how you transmute negative energy, whether it's you bombarding your mind or someone else bringing energy to you. You just say, you shut it down. You shut it down. Now, this takes self-awareness, okay, which is the first step. Before you can learn to even transmute energy, you have to know yourself very, very, very deep and intimately on a spiritual soul level, okay, before you can even level up. So you do need to level up. If you're not even self-aware, then, oh my God, you have a lot of work to do. So once you become self-aware, and especially all aware, you're able to shut everyone else's, you literally block them out and transmute that negative energy. Yeah, that energy's come towards you. Now you've taken it and spun it around to what you want. You're transmuting, baby. You're still creating the world you want. Now, I do highly encourage y'all, if you have anything that's valuable and sacred to you, which Scorpios do, we are very private people, Scorpio moon signs included. You don't go around telling people, oh, I'm going to marry this person, or I just won $1 million off, Publishers Clearinghouse or whatever, or the lottery or whatever. Okay, you don't go around telling people important stuff like that. You don't tell strangers things. You don't tell your parents. Don't tell your friends or family very important things. You don't want to even have to take valuable time and energy to transmute their negative energy, because they're all going to be like on you like shit, on like flies on shit. Because if you tell somebody now you won $1 million, well, you've got people coming out of the woodworks wanting stuff from you. Hey man, my car broke down and I just lost my job and I'm homeless. Hey, can you front me like $10,000 to fix my car? So you know what, guys? There's so many elements to manifesting your reality, but like George, I'm sorry you got me guys on the spin with George saying that he's like manifested some things. And if you're not manifesting what you want, you have to check your thoughts. And in order to be able to check your thoughts, you need to learn to become self-aware and start paying very mindful, conscious attention to your thoughts. That means catching yourself in the middle. I've done this, you guys. Oh my gosh, I have caught myself in the middle of putting myself down millions of times, especially after like my first divorce and all that. I was like, who's going to want me? Oh my God, who's going to want me? I'm a single mom, 2 young kids, even though I was gorgeous and I had it going on, you guys, I looked perfect. I was pure hearted. I still was just like, I had these thoughts of like, who's going to want me now? I'm like, used goods. I was casting spells on myself. But then when you learn to catch yourself in the middle of those negative thoughts, casting spells on yourself, bam, that is where things start shifting in your world. Okay, and you can call it metaphysics, quantum physics, whatever kind of physics. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Everyone's got a name or a term for whatever you call it. I call it speaking it into existence. Your thoughts do create, your words create, period, okay? But everyone wants to put a scientific spin and word on stuff. Oh, it's metaphysics, it's quantum physics, it's zetaphysics. I'm like, whatever, dude, whatever. To each is their own, okay? I am simple. I like simple terms. Speak it into existence. Boom, bam, easy, simple. You want to have all the scientific evidence? It's there, but I ain't going to be using all those dang fancy words all the time. You guys can do your own research, and you guys can call whatever you want. It's not my business. So, Dave, did you leave? We have Billy, or Bill. Hi, Bill. Bill says, I learned why I overthink and am a perfectionist with details. I'm willing to bet you're a Virgo moon. You're a Virgo moon and rising. That is why. That is why. When I saw that word perfectionist, Virgo instantly came into my brain. I was like, this is a Virgo moon, a Virgo person. This is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with any of what you guys think are negative. It's not negative, obviously. I mean, like, if you want something to be negative in your world, it will be negative. But in my world, I don't see things that way. Okay, so a lot of people that aren't self-aware see things as they are where they're at currently in their spiritual stage. And most people aren't spiritually leveling up, okay? Most people are just so dead, spiritually speaking. And they see things through a very limited lens of programming from when they were a child, and then their institutions and their churches and then media and this and that, being programmed by everyone else's creations and thoughts. And so they're seeing things through all of these things that have nothing to do with who they are on a soul level. That person is just, so many people are walking around living in somebody else's dreams and desires. Because when you are not actively participating, you're not actively consciously aware and participating and creating your own reality based on being completely self-aware or all aware, you are actively participating in somebody else's dreams. You're under their spell, okay? Make it simple. You're under their spell. Instead of your spell that you want, you're under their spell. So when someone says, I fell in love, I'm like, oh, shit. I'm not happy for that person because they are so unaware. They're not self-aware. They have no discernment, spiritual discernment. They are under somebody else's spells. They're under somebody else's, whatever they want, okay? Their feelings now are their own. And so, yeah, there's so many layers and so many things, but I like to keep things like as simple as I possibly can so you guys can understand what I'm saying. And I know you guys, I'm not mad or angry, you guys. I'm passionate about this because I have lived this myself. I lived in this, being half awake, and oh my God, I did manifest a lot of things that I wanted. Like, for instance, while I was going through after my first divorce with my first husband, who's the father of my kids, I was working my ass off. I was always working like a slave. Okay. I wasn't aware and awake back in my early 30s. I was in the transit. I was going towards that, but I wasn't quite there yet. So I had a lot of negative thoughts about myself. Even though I don't know why. I look back, I'm like, why the hell? I mean, I was so like perfect back then, like as far as the way I looked, and my heart was pure. Like I treated people like with honor. I treated people so good, and ended up being the one that was always stepped on. But yeah, I'm not saying that for you guys to feel sorry for me, because don't feel sorry for me. I don't like people who feel sorry for me. It was part of the process. Okay. We all have to go through it. So back then, even though I had these like negative thoughts, I always was like, okay, this is what I was like. I would tell, and back then I shouldn't have told my dad or anybody, but I was like, I wanted a blue Toyota 4Runner. That was what I wanted since like I was probably 25 years old or something like that. And although I wasn't making a lot of money, even though I was busting my ass, I wasn't making much money. I was like, I want a specific blue Toyota 4Runner. And I just was like, I told my dad one day, I'm like, I want a blue Toyota 4Runner. My dad's looking at me like, really, Julie? I don't see you getting that. You don't make near enough money to afford a Toyota 4Runner. And I looked at him dead, like with all of my soul and heart and everything. I was like, I didn't say this in a mean way. I just looked at him like with that Scorpio stare, like you just said the wrong thing, buddy. But I love my dad. So anyways, I gave him this like Scorpio stare, and I'm like dead serious face. I'm like, I will have that Toyota 4Runner by the time I'm 32 years old. And at the time I said that I was like 30 or something like that. So I kid you not, even though I spiraled with certain other areas of my life, I believed and knew. It was a state of knowing. I knew I was going to have it. It was going to be mine. I didn't know how I was going to get it. I had no clue because I was single, working. I was a single mom working. I don't even think I was dating at that point. I might have had a date here or a date there, but nothing serious or anything. I wasn't focused on dating. I was focused on my career and my kids and having a 4Runner. And so I kid you not, when I was 32 years old, by the time I was 32, I was already engaged to who I thought was the love of my life. He's not. He ended up not being, but at the time I thought he was the love of my life. And he bought me a blue Toyota 4Runner. So anyways, I ended up getting a blue Toyota 4Runner by the time I was 32. So you can manifest what you want. But I believed, and more importantly, I knew I was going to have one. I just knew it. So whatever I want, I always know I'm going to get. Okay. So regardless of the fact that I might have negative thoughts about my appearance, even though I'm like, why the hell did I have to? I mean, my God, when I look at me now and I look at back then, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Anyway, so I've dealt with all of that myself. I put spells on myself. I have degraded myself. I didn't always have a stellar self-concept. I have had a stellar, strong self-concept throughout my life. But like, there's times where I faltered. What are you guys all saying out there? Have you guys gone through this yourself? Can you relate to like putting spells on yourself? Scott says, our gifts were both ways. It feels like to me because it does drain me. It feels like the energy vampires have more access to me. Uh-oh. Yeah, so that's where you have to put up spiritual blocks. Literally, it's your reality. This is your world, not my world. Scott, that is your world. You can do whatever you want. You make the rules. You're the editor, the writer, the producer, everything of your reality, okay? If you allow that sort of thing into your script, into your reality, it's not their fault. It's not those energy vampires' faults. They're doing what they're wanting to do. They're desiring to do those things. You're allowing it by not putting up a spiritual block and say, no, I don't accept your energy. I don't accept your place in my reality. Be gone, done. You have the power to do that. So if you're allowing negative people into your space, you're allowing negative spirits into your space, because yes, spirits can possess you. They can. So can parasites, okay? And there's many layers to that too, okay? There's actual parasites that you can't see that live in our bodies and our skin. There's also parasitic people. There's parasitic spirits roaming about trying to latch onto they can literally enter into us and possess us. So yeah. But if you are all aware or self-aware, you can literally stop that. You have that power. You just speak it. Okay, I don't accept this. It's simple. Practice saying that. If there's one thing that I would encourage you all to practice saying all the time is that I do not accept this energy. I don't accept these words. I don't accept this, whatever is being presented to you that you do not want or like. I just practice saying this, especially before you go to sleep or first thing in the morning. I do not accept that my boss told me to go do whatever, or I do not accept what my mom said that I can't have a business, or I don't accept whatever it is. Okay. You just say, I don't accept. I'm going to go out there and negative energy is just going to bounce right off of me. I've got this armor on and I'm impenetrable, period. You are whatever you say you are. Okay. Whatever you believe you are. Even if you don't believe these things right away, start saying them anyways, because then it will become who you are. Okay. Because even if you don't think that you're like the cat's meow. Start saying that you are anyways, and you will become the cat's meow, even if you don't believe it right away. Just keep saying it, thinking it, writing it, scripting it. Write down exactly what you want to look like. Write down exactly what you want. But it will literally manifest. You have to stick to it and don't give up. It's not your business to know how it happens. It's not your business to know how you're going to obtain $1 million or how it's going to come to you. That is not your concern. Your concern is to keep your thoughts right, your spirit and your heart right. That is all you are supposed to be like worried about, like not worried, but concerned about. Okay, because I don't like the word worry. Things will just manifest. Don't worry about how or when, because then you're wasting your energies. You might actually slow it down if you start, oh my God, how am I going to get mail? Like, seriously? Like, is a man just going to show up in a truck and like, and why isn't it happening now? Like, you know, I mean, seriously, you guys, don't worry about all that in between middleman stuff. That's not for you to worry about. Because your thought now is put out there. Somebody else is going to pick up that thought and carry out your dreams and thoughts. Okay. So the right person's going to get that thought and bring it to you somehow, some way. It doesn't matter how it manifests. That's not your concern. But believe me, your thoughts are being put out there and somebody else is going to catch that thought. So yeah, I mean, somebody random out there that could be working at IBM as like a tech person or whatever, they're going to get your random thought of, I am a millionaire, I'm a businessman or whatever. And you have this desire and passion, you keep saying and thinking it. And that random dude that you don't even know that works at IBM is going to catch on to your thought. And all of a sudden they show up in your life somehow. You're like, wow, somehow, like they just happen to offer you, a partnership in a business or just whatever. Okay. Like it can be from some random but that's not for you to even think about how you get what you want or when. That you don't. It's going to happen if you stick to your desires, and don't falter. Don't be like, one week you want it, and then you can change your mind, you guys. Like if you do change your mind, like for instance, you want to be a businessman, and you're like, no, I don't want to be a businessman. Now I want to be a zookeeper. Okay, well then that's fine. Do whatever. Okay. But like if you have chaotic thoughts in your mind, it all has to play out. It all has to play out. Okay. So whatever you're seeing now happen in your reality is thoughts that you had like up to 5 years ago. Okay. So seriously, some things just take a little longer to manifest. Some things manifest a lot faster than others. But you just have to be looking at your reality right. Like what's right in front of you now, believe me, is thoughts that you had from like either yesterday up to 5 years ago. Okay. So be careful of what you're thinking and saying to yourself and others, because it's going to be made manifest somewhere down the road. So it's going to play out. It will play out. So, and even if you're joking, you have to be careful with like, if you're joking, your jokes play out too. It's words. Anything you're saying, whether it's in a joking manner or not, it plays out. If you're always saying, yeah, I'll be dead by the time I'm 50. Like, I love to drink and smoke. Well, you're probably going to be dead by 50 or close to it. Okay. So you might be saying, oh, I'm just joking. No. The universe, the matrix is neutral. It doesn't take any of that in consideration, whether you're joking or serious. It's just all about vibrations, you guys. It's neutral. It's a neutral plane. Okay. It's not sitting there going, oh, he was just joking, so scratch that. Sorry. No, that's not the way it goes. That's not the laws. So their eyes bigger than their bite. Yeah. Let's see. What are you guys saying out there? I am what I need to be. Lance, take a bowl. King Gabby, I don't like the time difference between states. Oh, okay. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like my son, he's only like 2 hours from me in Nashville. And like literally just because he's like just 10 miles to the west of me, like just 10 miles, he's already in a different time zone. So I'm just like, really? 10 miles? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just like, whatever. What do you guys got going on in your mind? What's on your hearts? Scorpion Mom says, it's thundering loud here. My Paco hiding under the bed. Is that your dog? Kentucky Trailer Man. Been raining on and off for 4 days here. I broke almost every bone in my body. Oh my gosh. How did you break every bone in your body? Because of rain? Oh my gosh. That sounds really ugh. You have to elaborate on that, Kentucky Trailer Man. Like what happened? Scott says a tornado came really close to where I live in April and it destroyed all of our trees. Oh, yikes. You know what I do when somebody else is forecasting, which is a spell, they're forecasting, oh, we're gonna have tornadoes or whatever. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't accept that. And I just put a bubble and veil of protection around like my home, my yard, whatever. I just, I don't accept it. I'm like, yeah. But if they say it's going to rain and be cloudy, I'm like, I accept it. Bring it on. I love the rain. If it's going to be like negative 20 degrees, I'm like, bring it. My ancestors come from Siberia. We are all about the cold. Yeah. So I'm like, whether, because it's their forecast. That's not my forecast. This is my reality. They're trying to impose their spell casting, forecasting, whatever onto my reality. And I'm like, nah, I don't accept the tornadoes coming. They're not gonna, no, I don't accept it. But I will accept the fact that it will rain and be cloudy. Bring it. Bring that rain. Bring the clouds. I love clouds and rain and thunder and all that. Well, maybe the thunder, sometimes the thunder gets out of control. But yeah, it scares the bejeebies right out of me because like I don't know about you guys, but like my nerves are like on the outside of the skin. So Rob Sony says, I transmute negative energy and use it for nutrients for a new earth. There you go. So a new earth for yourself and your reality. Okay, so Rob, Debbie Downers. Who's a Debbie Downer? I'm not a Debbie Downer. But if someone's being a Debbie Downer, I'm just like, I don't accept that. We're going to transmute that. I had to teach my mom how to transmute all her negative victim mentality and, oh my God, look what she did to me. And oh my God, it's her fault. And she did this to me. And I'm like, why are you giving your power away? What? It's like nonstop with my mom for years and decades since I was a little, oh my God, look what they did to me. And I'm like, you're giving your power away. What do you expect is going to happen? There's consequences for your thoughts. You know what? There is such a thing as pure, unconditional love, okay? But you know what? There is always going to be consequences for your actions. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever, okay? And like your parent, like I'm a parent, I can love my kids no matter what they do. But there's going to be consequences for lying, stealing. If they were murderers, there's damn well going to be consequences for somebody who takes another person's life. That doesn't mean I'm not going to love my kids if they were to go out and commit murder. I would be so disappointed. My spirit and soul would be crushed. I would still love them. But you damn well better believe there's going to be consequences. There is always consequences. And that does not, so it's like my first husband, he was a pathological liar and stuff like that. And he liked to cheat. He was like a trisexual or whatever. But anyways, he didn't think that he should have consequences for him for the fact that he was sleeping with other people while we were married or cheating and lying and all that sort of thing. He just thought, well, if you love me unconditionally, I should be able to do whatever the hell I want. You'll forgive me. And no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, you guys. And y'all better know that. So, if you are a great person with a pure heart and you're out there giving love and helping and being kind, you will be rewarded. There is consequences for all of that beautiful, pure energy you're putting out there. You will get it back tenfold. You put out negative shit energy, stealing from people, lying, whatever you're doing that's not in alignment with a pure heart, you will pay the consequences. It doesn't mean that your mom and dad no longer loves you because you're out of alignment of your heart. No, they're still going to love you. They may not like what you did. They may be crushed. They may be disappointed. Their love still goes on, right? Because it's unconditional. You're going to pay the price, bucko. and like I would tell my ex-husband, and I have no anger like toward this man at all. Okay, this is like, I got over it. I healed myself. But like back then, like he really thought that like he played that unconditional bullshit card and all that. And I'm just like, what fairy land are you living in? Like, what? He was a Pisces. So, I mean, that says a lot right there, right? So, anyways, yeah. So he thought that like, if he lied to me like 20 times a day and cheated and slept with people and stuff, that I should just be like, take it on the chin, turn the other way. What is that? Be like, okay, whatever, no big deal. Yeah, we can sleep together still. Yeah, oh yeah, everything's good and fine, and I still trust you. No, no. You are living in a fantasy world if you think that unconditional means there's no consequences for your actions. You are living in a fantasy world, because I mean that is just a common law. A common law. Okay, you just don't go out there if you are out of alignment of your pure heart. Because pure love would not ever do something like that to another person, let alone themselves, because you are literally damning yourself every time you are out of alignment and you do something out of alignment of your pure heart. You are damning yourself. That energy that you're putting out is coming back to you tenfold. So you better get your heart right, you guys. And I'm not using any religious words, but if you were raised knowing, oh, sin is so bad, and no, it's missing the spiritual mark. It's missing the mark of having a pure heart. That is the end all and be all of everything, period. You need to have a pure heart. You will live in heaven. Your heart's pure. You will have beautiful, awesome things come right back to you. You will always get back what you put out. That is a general law. Okay. So yeah. And so like my ex, like typical Pisces, living in his own little fantasy world. Like, oh Lord, my mom does the same thing. She really does believe that she can cheat on all of her husbands and that they should just accept her back and be like, well, if you truly loved me, you'd forgive me now and take me back as I am. What? You kidding me? Those men were like, I'm heading to divorce court right now. There's consequences, you guys. Even if someone truly loves you, there's consequences. Okay. My first husband had to learn the hard way. Like I was like, we're getting divorced, for legal separation through JAG, then divorce, whatever. That's consequences for his actions. Okay. Even if I truly still loved him, even long after that, I still would have divorced him. That's someone that I'm not going to trust. He's going to be bringing AIDS and all kinds of sexually transmitted disease. What? Are you kidding me? What? That is so dishonorable. That's so disgusting. That's like, there's no honor and pure heart and love and a soul that does that to themselves or to someone else. Like, I'm sorry. No. Yeah. There is always consequences. So, like people who are like, I can't find someone with unconditional love. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So there's always going to be consequences for good, pure-hearted actions and not pure-hearted actions. That's how I see things. Are you doing things out of a pure heart, or are you doing things where you stepped out of your pure heartedness and now, yeah. So that's how I see things. I don't really see things as good, bad, that sort of thing. I see things as, are you walking in love? Are you walking in a pure heart out of love? Or are you walking out of alignment where you've missed the mark? That's how I see things. It's not religious. That's just my spiritual view. So anyway, Scorpio, mama, Kentucky, she not happy with her life. Who's not happy with their life? Ross Smiley, I'm kind-hearted and pure-hearted. All right, I love that. Positive energy there. Thank you, Rob. I like the fact that you are confident in who you believe yourself to be. That is the way that I would love to see everyone else out there being like, you know what? I am pure-hearted. I love everybody. I'm kind. I'm just a spiritual goddess, I'm just like, whatever. Okay. I honor myself. I honor my body. I honor others. That's to me, that's like spiritual. That's spiritually like, a big turn on, like when people are like spiritually confident in who they are. Because Scott says, you gotta love karma. You can call it karma, dharma, whatever you want to call it. Laws of the universes. You can call it whatever you want. Rob says, people underestimate the power of the spoken word. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I actually did create a video back in the day here on my YouTube channel where I talked about how you literally speak, how your words have power and how you speak your reality into existence. How you can literally, like, the power of life and death is in the tongue, you guys. It's a double-edged sword, okay? Your tongue and word has the power to bring life into your life and others, or it has the power to kill and take, okay? So if you were to take, like, there is this like doctor, I don't know if it was a Japanese doctor or whatever, he took like 3 things of rice, like put fresh white rice in 3 separate containers. And on one container, he spoke to it loving words like, I love you, rice, you're beautiful. He said nothing but positive words to the one container of rice. The other one was kind of neutral, where he was just like saying nothing but like neutral type words, not good and not bad, just neutral. And the other container, he was speaking words like of hate. I hate you. You're ugly. You're amount to nothing, like all negative words. So like after like, I don't know if it was 3 weeks or a month later, like the first one where he was speaking lots of loving words to, it like stayed white, pure white. And the one that was neutral, it was kind of like had some yellow to it. And then the last one where he was speaking like hateful words to it for 3 weeks straight or a month. I can't remember if it was 3 weeks or a month, but it was a certain amount of time. And it turned black, like black, ugly mold in it. So your words absolutely have power to sustain life or take it away and destroy it. So like, yeah, your words are very powerful, believe it or not. Scorpio mama, she really is a stranger. Who's a stranger? Scott, I know I did. I'm going to start paying more attention to that. Right on. Yeah. Scorpio mama, Scott, I don't want to be around the karma energy. Yeah. There you go. See, Scorpio mama, you literally make the rules in your reality. Literally. Okay. And you saying that right there, saying, I don't want to be around the karma energy. You're basically saying, I don't accept the fact that there's such thing as karma energy. I won't have it in my world. You have that power to do that. You have a power to block it out. You do have that power. And if you want to know how, you can say, evil people are able to stay in power and be billionaires and all that sort of thing and sacrifice babies and all that sort of thing, is because they can. They know how to speak that stuff into existence. They're master sorcerers. It's a spiritual world, but it's a sorcerer world too. Okay, you guys. People that are born into sorcery, what the dragon bloodline, that sort of thing, they know what they're doing. They know what to say, what not to say. They know what language and how. They know all. okay, about that sort of thing. That's why they can stay in power. And a lot of it is in their blood, okay? So yeah, they're born into it. You can actually learn to, like, I believe every person can be whatever they want to be, whatever they deem they want to be, they can be. That's how I see it. Um, um, so Rob says, I can only meet you at the level you are at. Exactly. Exactly. Rob says, step your game up. I love that. So it's positive. It's like, come on now. Just imagine, if you will, because I know a lot of you are very, probably indulge in video games, right? Okay, they're everywhere. Everyone does it. So just imagine you are in a literal Matrix video game yourself, okay? Ready Player One is a good example, a good movie to watch. But anyways, your job is to, in a video game, if you're playing a video game, to level up, right? Because then you get exposed to new weapons, you get exposed to new herbs, whatever it is. Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna take my voice is starting to falter, if you guys haven't noticed. It gets really like I sound like a monster almost, like So basically, you're supposed to get through the game, right? And to get stronger and to beat all the bosses and all that, you're supposed to level up and obtain. And so like the more you level up, the more awesome things you can buy. You get more monies and you get different herbs or whatever it is. I don't even know what kind of game. You're playing like a role-playing game or whatever. Either way, you're supposed to be leveling up, right? And then, of course, you have to be strong enough to beat all of the challenges, the bosses that come at you, because that's real life, right? We have people and spirits, unknown strange spirits that come against us, whether it's from a person or an actual spirit. They're always going to be trying to bombard us, no matter if we're pure-hearted or not. They're always going to be trying to challenge us. So we have to get stronger so we can blow right past them easily. Poof, they just literally should just be bouncing off of our exterior, our stealthy spiritual armor, okay? And so that is your job in a video game, right? To level up. Well, you're supposed to be doing that, like liken it to your spiritual life. You want negative entities and vampires to literally bounce off of you? Level your spiritual game up, and you can just breeze through this world. Have whatever you want. But just know that whatever you do choose, like Star Wars, the dark side or the light side, pure-hearted or not pure-hearted, there's consequences for both. You just have to realize that. And I don't care what you call it. I call it consequences. There's always going to be a reaction to every action, good, bad, indifferent, whatever label you want to put on it yourself, however you want to package it, according to your own perceptions and beliefs. I just say, look, if I don't like it, it's not going to be accepted into my realm. It don't matter, because there is, you're going to encounter people out there that like totally believe that what they're doing is good and right and just. And they truly believe that about themselves. Even the billionaires that are in power, or the trillionaires, the people that run this realm who are in power, the sorcerers that run this, that try to run the realm, they truly believe that what they're doing is fine. It's good. They don't give a poop. Like, they're just doing it. That's what they want. That's their desire. And they don't give two licks about what everybody else is thinking. They just want to make sure that like no one wakes up to take away that power, So yeah, if people start waking up, then the trance and the spell breaks. They can't be in power anymore. So they want to keep you in a trance. They want to keep you dumbed down and in a total, you're under a spell, basically the moment you're born, you come out of the womb. So yeah, I mean, they don't want you to ever wake up from their spells. Heck no. If everyone started waking up and coming out of the spell, there would be nobody trying to run everything, okay? No. Everything would just be like an evil playing field. So yeah, let's keep everybody under a spell. Make sure they're always in front of a black screen. Make sure everybody is always in front of a computer or in TV programs. Program, there you go, program. It's in the words, you guys. Channel, what are you channeling, okay? Oh, I'm going to channel 3. What are you going to be channeling on that channel? Channeling is another word that's used in witchcraft, or not witchcraft, in sorcery. Okay, when you learn spelling in school, I wonder why they call it spelling. I wonder why. Because you're casting spells when you are scripting, right? You guys really need to pay attention to the words that you're using. Everything is like deliberately, brought to us in a certain way because they want us to constantly be casting spells on ourselves and be under everyone else's spells around us. So it's like, yeah. Anybody else want to talk about something else? I'm scrolling back down because somehow it went back up. Lance says, when the energy vampires show up, I am, wait. When the energy vampires show up, this is what Lance has to say. I am cordial. I say hello. Nice to see you. Do not need you right now. Sit your ass down. I might need that darkness where I can transmute it. Right? Exactly. And you know what? Darkness is just the absence of light. And honestly, you cannot get to the light unless you are in darkness, right? You have to go through darkness to get to light. Period. Like, so darkness is absolutely needed. And so people always attach like a negative connotation to the word darkness. Darkness does not mean evil. It doesn't mean evil. Sometimes you have to turn off all the lights. You have to come to a place inside of yourself, take down all of your barriers that keep you from literally transforming. You have to you literally need to learn how to get to a place of nothingness. I like to call it darkness, like this void in your spirit and your mind where there is no internal dialogue going on whatsoever. You're literally in a place of nothingness. That is not an evil place to be. That's a place of peace. Because now you have quieted down all of the internal dialogue that literally tries to run your world and keep you distracted and keep you down and under a negative spell. Okay, you literally need to just let all of that go. Get to that place of darkness and peace and nothingness. Where there's nothingness, that means there's no light, right? That is where you will have the biggest spiritual transformations, in that place of nothingness. And people call it meditation. So whatever it is, praying, meditation, whatever, everyone has their own words, but that's literally, I just described what you need to do. It's that internal dialogue that you are not aware of yet that is running the show. It's those background programs going on in there. And you need to quiet it and get rid of it. Yeah. So if you are into manifesting, and you really want your life to be a certain way and you really want a certain partner or whatever, then, the first step is literally start paying attention to your own thoughts. That's the first step. Write down every negative thing that you catch yourself thinking, whether it's about yourself or somebody else. Because even if you're thinking a negative thought about somebody else, it still reflects back on who you are, who you believe yourself to be. Everyone else is you pushed out. Everyone else is a reflection of a thought that you were thinking or believing. If you believe every boss that you've ever had and ever going to have is going to be a hole, you are going to keep manifesting that. So if you quit your job because you can't stand your boss, and then you're like, okay, but damn, I'm going to be working here. Oh man, I'm going to have another, I bet you anything, my new boss is going to be an a-hole. Well, if he is, you can only blame your thoughts, okay? Because you manifested it. So you're putting all of your blame on everyone else, but internally you are having these thoughts. And sometimes, and most of the time, you're not even aware that you're having these negative thoughts about other people. They're there and they're taking up space. And you're just like in this constant internal dialogue hamster wheel going on about everything's negative, everyone's negative. But that's you. That's your issue, not theirs. You need to fix what's right, going on in here and in your heart and in your soul. Everyone is you pushed out. Everyone and everything is you pushed out. I say it again. It all goes back to you. What are you thinking? What are you believing in? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about people? That's what you're going to see reflected in your reality. If you believe everyone is evil and bad, well, damn well, that's what you're going to get. Now, if you believe everyone is good and kind and loving, and you truly have nothing but loving, pure-hearted thoughts all the time and stuff, most of the time, yeah, that's what you're going to get back. Now, there's always going to be that individual or spirit out there that's always going to be challenging you. There's always going to be a challenge, right? Because life would get boring if there wasn't a challenge. Because you've got individuals who have their own desires and beliefs, and you have spirits that are, want to take over. So as long as you're self-aware, you just say, no, I don't accept it. Bye. See you later. Or like Lance says, sit your ass down. I don't need you right now. But anyways, you make those commandments. You tell that spirit or person, leave me now. I command it so. It's done. You spoke it into existence. So yeah. Anyway, so if your life is like chaotic and your relationships are chaotic, it always goes back to your thoughts. And I know that might be hard for you guys to think because some of you are not self-aware. You have no idea that those internal thoughts you're having, you're not even aware of you're not even aware of it. It's going on in your unconscious thoughts and it's just constantly repeating itself. And you're like, dang, I really want this special woman, but oh my God, but internally you're just like, there's no woman out there like that. They're all bad. All women are bad. Oh my God. But you're like, but I want this particular kind of woman. But internally you're constantly saying, no, women are all bad. They're ugly. They're gold diggers. You're constantly, so yeah, you have to pay attention to what your internal dialogue is saying. Okay. That's their first step. And then, once you start leveling up, like in a video game, then you get to the next level and then you learn how to do that. And then you obtain all those good things. And then whatever it is that you leveled up now, you have access to all this other stuff. And then you level up again and then you have access and you learn how to do this. And then like, wow, everything just starts opening up for you. And then like, once you learn everything, not everything, because you'll never stop learning. But once you get higher and higher in your spiritual transformation, the world is your oyster, so anyways, you learn to transmute negative energy. There's always going to be negative energy and negative spirits and all that. But the frequency in which you experience it, or not even the frequency, the manner in which you, let's see here, how am I going to put this? Like, if you spiritually leveled up so far to where you are all aware and you are operating from a pure heart, which is the highest vibration you could possibly have, yeah, you're going to experience negative spirits coming at you. It's a spiritual warfare out there. But you know what? They're going to bounce right off of you and you're going to breeze through them like they're nothing. It would be like a little speck, like a little, and then like, whatever. Okay, you keep on going. Now, when you're not spiritually leveled up and you have negative spirits coming at you, negative energies coming at you, it feels like a big freaking deal, right? And a lot of times, because you're not self-aware and you're not leveled up spiritually, they take over you. They take over you, period. Now you're at their will. Whatever they want, you are playing out, okay? You're under their spell. They have possessed you. When you are spiritually walking in a pure-hearted vibration and you are all aware, nothing can take you, nothing can harm you or bring you down. Nothing can possess you, period. Period. So it is in your best interest to get to the highest level of spirituality that you could possibly obtain in this realm and in the next realm. Keep leveling yourself up to where you are literally spiritually impenetrable and nothing can penetrate you or possess you or drain your life force. Okay? So, yes, you can be, even if you're a proclaimed Christian or whatever, you can be possessed by a spirit. You call it a demon because a demon just means a walk-in. Demon comes from the word daemon, which means a walk-in spirit. Okay, so yes, you could absolutely be possessed by a spirit. If you are not self-aware and walking in true love or pure love, you absolutely can be possessed, period. So yeah, it is in your best interest to get that heart pure and spiritually level yourself up. So anyways, and somebody who is, and there is people that like are out there walking around in pure, in like pure love and that sort of thing, that can actually fall from grace. Okay. And there's people that maybe come out of the womb and they act like they're like this crazy possessed person that does all these crazy things that can later on learn to have a pure heart and walk in pure love, which is what you're supposed to do. That's your heaven. That's the best place to be. And, so at any time, anybody can fall from grace or fall, okay, out of alignment with a pure heart. But you want to become all aware and always be in a state of knowing, okay, and always creating and transmuting. And that is your place. You need to always be so all aware, okay? Self-aware is only one step. There's so many other steps. You want to get to the place where you're all aware. And you can just literally take whatever's coming at you, transmute it, and send it back. Oh, yeah, you think you're right? No, right back at you, tenfold. So, yeah, you want to, you either are going to be controlled, be like that NPC player in a game that's on a loop that just says the same thing, does the same thing over and over again, blah, 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 blah. Or you can take control of your reality and be the actual creator of your reality instead of just being an NPC being controlled by everyone else. I mean, it's your choice, you guys. It's not my choice to make. You're an individual. You make your own choices. I try to encourage people and teach people, or basically I like to share my experiences to help others, bring awareness and enlightenment to people. People can choose to accept what I say or block it and say no. Because sometimes you're not ready. Like if you're a babe in the spirit and you haven't leveled up and you're really, really new in the spirit and walking the spirit, you're not going to be able to digest a steak. You're still eating baby food. Okay. You have to level up to that point where you can start digesting a whole animal or a steak. Okay. So anyways, I've been proud of them for a long time. I'm reading the comments and I don't see anybody trying to talk about anything else. So oh yeah, Kentucky Trailman. I remember you telling me about the fact that you fell through the roof. So yeah, you broke every bone. Yeah. Ugh. It's amazing that you even, that's just like, wow. That's all I can say is wow. Lance says, my late wife repeatedly said, I'm going to die before 60, 4 months before her 60th. Your late wife repeatedly said, she said to herself that she was going to die before 60. And like, are you saying like 4 months before her 60th birthday, she passed away? Wow. Thank you for that. That's, yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, she kind of like manifested that. That's sad, but yeah, people aren't, and you know, people say things like that, thinking, "Oh, this is just a joke. I really don't mean it." Then why are you saying it? You know, because words are things, and they matter. They come to fruition. So Kentucky Trailer Man, I felt okay. So yeah, so Lance, that was like, wow, that was, yeah. Lance says, my Virgo sun and rising, love you, Mom. Thank God I'm only half price. Lance, my mom's double Virgo. Oh, wow. It seems like you held her in high regard. Rob, good karma points build up. Right, there you go, Rob. I like that. King Cabri, clean rain, yes, yeah. Clean rain, exactly. We don't want no contaminated rain coming down on us, right? Rob's like, I get dharma, they get karma. And Kentucky Trailer Man says, live righteously. Wise words. And be true to yourself. You be true to yourself. And you can't really be true to yourself unless you know yourself, unless you're able to use discernment, spiritual discernment, and know, like, oh my gosh, is this thought that I'm thinking right now, is it actually mine? Because it could actually be your neighbor's thoughts. It could actually be your boss's thoughts. It could be the cashier's thought at the grocery store. You know, are these feelings that I'm feeling, are they actually mine? Because you actually do take on other people's feelings too, as well as their thoughts. And if you guys don't know yourself, you are going to be under everyone else's spell. You will be helping them live out their dreams instead of you creating your own dreams. So either take control or just be used their whole life. Be used. But don't cry about it because you made a conscious, usually, you know, you made a decision that you don't want to level up. You don't want to become self-aware. A lot of people are fine being like an NPC. My mom is. I mean, she totally told me the last time I visited her, she's like, I'm fine where I'm at. And believe me, she's not spiritually evolved, and not even in the slightest. Like not even a little. Like seriously, this. Oh. But yeah, she's totally fine not spiritually evolving. She's like, I'm fine with the way I am. And I'm just like, oh my God, no. But none of your daughters want to talk to you. Okay, let's look at the evidence here. You're such a miserable person. You're not spiritually, you know, participating in your own reality. You're destroying your reality. You're bringing about pain and destruction upon yourself and others. Nobody wants to be around you. Let's look at the evidence here. So she doesn't walk, her actions are never pure-hearted. Her thoughts are definitely destructful for herself, for her own life, her own spiritual life. She's literally kept herself imprisoned in her own spiritual hell her whole entire life. It's just like, oh yeah, she's, to me, I'm not going to say she's a lost soul, but you know what? If the fruit ain't there, I mean, I can assess people's actions. You know, I'm not going to judge someone's heart because that can change, but I'm going to look at your actions. I'm going to look at the fruit. You know, I'm not going to judge. Definitely, I've never been someone to judge, but like, there's a, you know, like with Scorpios, they see a pattern. And that's what I have told my mom. I'm like, I see a pattern in your life, a pattern of self-destruction. A pattern of hatred towards yourself, a pattern. It's a pattern, an ongoing pattern. You hate yourself and then you hate everyone else. You know, it's just like, yeah, it's a pattern, you know, and I recognize patterns like immediately. Like I've really tried to help spiritually, like encourage her. I mean, I've taught her spiritual tools. She has actually taken some of my advice, and she'll come back and say, oh my God, whatever you told me to do, it worked. And she'd be so excited. But then I'm like, but in the long run, she goes back to her own prison. Like she feels comfortable there. She's been there for 76 years. She's comfortable living in a destructible prison. Okay. She got used to it. She's comfortable. She doesn't want to break out of it. Even though she says, I'm so miserable. She wants to be there. So whatever. Some people are comfortable being in misery. That's all they've ever known. And that's where they want to stay. So yeah. But where I draw the line is like, you're not going to bring your negative energies and blame everyone else for decisions you consciously make. Because my mom was like the type of person that will tell you to your face, yeah, I did this, I did that, and all I have to do is just not do this anymore, and then I would be, happy or whatever. She tells you what she did wrong. She's done this a million times. She tells you what it did to her, and she'll tell you how to fix it, and still choose hell. And then be like, look what they did to me. I'm like, oh, Lord, let's not go through this again. I don't accept your negative crap. We're just, yeah. She'll listen to me and use, the tools I give her and then end up going, you know what? I'd just rather stay in hell. Yeah, but no one wants to be around her. So it's sad. I think it's really sad. For anybody to choose hell over like spiritually evolving and living in living in heaven, like from a pure hearted stance. It baffles me. I don't even put any more energy into it anymore, because if someone has been doing that for 76 years, I'm just like, whatever, Mom. I'm over here. You stay over there. Keep your hell over there. I don't accept your energy. So Rob says, being an empath makes it easier to take on other people's emotions. Yeah. But you also can take on you can literally, when you're under somebody else's spell, like for instance, Rob, if there was a woman that fell in love with you, okay, someone that worked with you or somebody just, maybe if you went to the gym or whatever, I'm just saying hypothetically, if you were going to the gym and there was a woman that you saw there like quite frequently, and she was falling in love with you, and she was starting to not falling in love with you. She was I'm not going to say fall. She was developing like really strong feelings towards you, not just lust, but actual like real feelings of compassion and concern and all that. But you were like, kind of just oblivious to it. You're not really a self-aware person. You really don't even know, like you see her, but you're just like, okay, she's just another woman here or whatever. You're not really physically attracted to her. You just see her as another person basically, but she's developing all of these feelings for you. To you, you're spiritually unaware of this. You're not self-aware. And she's probably not even someone that you would even go up to, like in a grocery store. Like if you just saw her for the first time, you would not be like, oh, wow, I've got to talk to her. It's just somebody just like another average person, right? Okay. Not really your physical type or anything like that. But she's developing all these feelings for you. Okay. And you're just doing you're doing Rob. Okay. You're being Rob. But then one day you wake up and you're just all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to talk to that girl at the gym. And you're there's these feelings there, and they do feel like they're your own. You cannot decipher. You have no discernment. You have no spiritual discernment because you are not fully self-aware, and you really do believe they are your feelings. All of a sudden you've got this like, oh my God, I've got to talk to her. I've got to see her. I've got to, and then you talk to her, you ask her out on a date, and and then come to find out down the road, like in maybe your third or fourth date, she's like, oh my God, Rob, I have loved you for so long. You fell, okay? You fell in love with her. You fell. You didn't consciously make a decision to love her because she was not really your type. She's not somebody you would just be like, oh, wow, okay? You weren't consciously developing feelings for this person. You literally just woke up one day and you're like, wow, I have really got to talk to this girl. I just like, wow. And you're just feeling all these feelings all of a sudden that came basically out of nowhere, because that's what happens. But they do feel like they're your own. Okay. Now, somebody who is not completely 100% self-aware is going to come under somebody else's spell. It's their love spell. It's their desires. It's their feelings. It's their thoughts. It's their, because she wants you. She wants you, and she's thinking about you constantly at nighttime. She's thinking about you, Rob, whatever. Okay. So, like, literally, you fell in love with her, but it wasn't conscious. Okay. But then when she realizes you're not really up to par, like she developed all these feelings for you, but then down the road, like you're still dating and seeing each other 2 years down the road. And she's like, you know what? Rob is really just not that great of a person. Her feelings and desires and thoughts start going towards somebody else or something else. Then you are released under that spell, because now her energies are no longer with you. And when you wake up, you're like, holy shit, why am I with this person? Like, I don't even like this person. Like, we don't even get along, you know? So the spell does eventually wear off. It's not forever. But in the beginning, you know, when people come to you or say, and you think that you're falling in love, oh, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Don't ever say you're falling in love. You need to be consciously active in making the choice to love somebody, because hormones is the feelings that we think is love. It's hormones. When you make a conscious effort to have compassion for another human being and honor them and respect them, that all should be conscious, something you are contributing in. You are conscious of making a decision. I love this person. I'm going to show them love with my acts. I'm going to, you know, you're making a decision, a conscious decision to love and care for somebody. It's not because you fell from grace, from your soul, from your purpose under somebody else's spell. No, you don't know. No. So, I mean, I always have people like I've had girls come up to me at work and be like, I fell in love with Darren. And I'm just like, I have this face of like sadness. Like, I can't even be happy for them. I fell in love with Darren and, you know, blah, 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 department. And I'm just like, sad. And they're like, why aren't you happy for me? And I'm like, it's not that I'm not happy for you. It's just that, you know, and I don't know exactly what I would say or I said to that person at the time. I think I might have given him some words of caution, not negative words, not like, I wasn't trying to rain on her parade or anything like that. I usually just stay neutral. But I can't show that I'm happy for somebody when it's not there, when I know what's going on. I'll just say, you know, I'm neutral, and I just become like this wise, like leader or whatever, wise sage at that moment. But I can't be like, oh, good, you fell in love with that. No, I can't. No, because I know how it's going to turn out. So, I mean, yeah. Anyways, so if you come to me and say, I fell in love with Mary Sue, I'm just going to be like, oh shit. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not going to be happy for you. I'll probably be sad because I'm like, oh, I've seen this a million times. Anyway, so yeah, I know how it's going to play out. Now, if there's the two people that meet each other and they both are attracted to each other immediately, usually it's mutual. If it's mutual, and they, you know, start consciously choosing to see each other more, spend more time with each other. It's a mutual thing, two people coming together and feeling the same way. Because if it's like, you know, that's the way it should be, you guys. But if it's like you are going towards somebody who isn't coming towards you, but then like 6 months down the road, all of a sudden that person that you have been fantasizing about, the person that you have been dreaming about, all of a sudden 6 months down the road, boom, they're like a switch. They're coming towards you now, but they weren't those 6 months that you were going towards them. Now they're under your spell. And if that's the kind of way you want to live, you go for it, whatever. Okay. Sometimes, you know, every once in a while it does turn out for the, you know, for the good or whatever, the way you want it. A lot of times it doesn't. But like you want to be like consciously, to both people need to be consciously aware that they are attracted and making, you know, a conscious decision to love each other and honor each other, and not one person all of a sudden falling under somebody else's spells. Because now you got somebody Okay, so yeah, maybe you're lusting after a celebrity. Okay, they don't even know you exist, but like Rob, you want to be with somebody, some celebrity. Okay, and you're just like, um, constantly dreaming about this celebrity, constantly, whatever. They're constantly on your mind. You have thoughts, you have images, your imagination. It's all at work. You're just, everything you talk about is them, and all of a sudden, like a year later, you run into the celebrities. Like you're just like, wow, this is like magic. Like, wow, they just came out of the restaurant I was in, and bam, you know, yeah, it's exciting. Like, if somebody all of a sudden, like out of the blue, starts like, wow, notices you after all of the energy you've put towards them, the thoughts, you're spell casting on them, basically. That's how I like to look at it. And you're manifesting them. Okay, you're manifesting them. And that's good. And you're happy. You're like, wow, I finally got this, celebrity, whatever. But you can lose them just as quick, because a spell is always going to wear off. Now, if they consciously meet you for the first time and they're not under your spell, you haven't been sending them any energy, and they consciously are like, wow, Rob, you're a good looking dude. And, I got some good energies from you. Let's, what do you think about like going on a date? And it's mutual. Then that's where you want to start, from a place of a clean slate where nobody's been putting energies towards another person. If it's a mutual thing, like where you work, like you meet somebody for the very first time, they meet you for the first time, you've never seen them before, and you both meet at the same time, and you both are like, wow. And you have this instant spiritual knowing towards each other. Both of you do. Okay. You've never seen them before, and you just have this instant like, wow. Okay. And it's mutual, and you both are going towards each other, and then you start dating, and there's a conscious thing. You both are self-aware, and you both are making the decision to keep coming back to each other and date or get married or whatever it is you both are doing, but it's mutual. That's the way you want it. Okay. Because now you're not waiting for the spell to fall off. Okay. Because once the spell falls off, it's like, that person's going to be like, what the hell am I doing with this person? Like, had to have been under a spell to marry this person. I don't get along with them. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's your world. You guys do what you want, but I'm just saying it should be a place, a starting point where somebody you're not putting energies towards, and they're just ignoring you for a certain amount of time. And then all of a sudden, like a switch, they're all of a sudden interested in you. I wouldn't even want that person in my life, because I'd be like, yeah, if they didn't like me from the beginning, I don't want them now. That's how I see it, because I know that the spell is going to wear off, so it's just it's not an auspicious way to start a relationship with somebody, with one person liking the other, and the other one is just like, doesn't even really know you exist. They don't really, care one way or another. I don't know. That's just me personally. I am unique, you guys. So I'm just saying, you guys do you, but just make sure you know yourself, or try, to learn yourself. Lance is like, Darren is my middle name. Lance, that's funny. Well, Susie Q over in customer service fell in love with Darren. So anyways, yeah. But Scorpio is magnetic anyways. Yeah, Scorpios usually don't have a problem like attracting people, especially if you're a very confident Scorpio. If you are a confident Scorpio, oh my God, like you should have your pick of anybody you want. I mean, I'm going based, and not just my Scorpio energies. I'm talking about like women that contact me constantly, you guys, that talk about, and they're not Scorpios, okay, they're Tauruses or whatever, but they're women that come to me and they're like, oh my God, like I met this Scorpio man, I just could not resist him. I'm just like, I hear it from the ladies. Okay, if you're a Scorpio man out there, I'm just telling you, I hear this all the time from like the Taurus women or the Virgo women or the Gemini women that come to me and like, oh, my Scorpio guy disappeared and he went silent on me. And oh my God, but when I first met him, I could not resist him. I'm just like, oh, Lord. believe me, I know all about the Scorpio energy and how magnetic it is. I absolutely do know. Like, yeah, I know. Scott says, that's so awesome, Julian. You make so much sense to me. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad it makes sense to somebody out there. That actually does make me feel good because I've always struggled with ADHD and all these other stupid words. And I don't even own them anymore. I'm just like, you know what? I don't even own that. I'm like, I'm not even going to accept that anymore. But I do like to my brain seems to sometimes go in a million different directions. And I want to create this and I want to create that. And I want to be over here and I want to do this. And then I'll be thinking about squirrels. And the next minute I'm thinking about building a rocket ship. And then it's just like, oh. So when I can actually focus all of my energy on something I'm passionate about, and I actually make sense, I'm like, yeah, score. So yeah, it's a good thing. I really want to be able to be a good communicator. I used to regularly have to stand in front of 400 people, and and I have at times in my life been an excellent communicator, but then when I've been away from it for a while, then I kind of, it's not that I lose the skill so much, but it kind of feels like I do it. It's like the muscles you don't use. If you don't use the skill in the muscle, you lose it, type of thing. So the more that I've been away from the public eye, being in a managing position of 400 people, it's not that I revert back to anything. I never go backwards, but it's just I used to be such an excellent communicator, like really good. And now I'm just you know what? What's happened to me? But anyways, but I don't revert back to whatever I was, in my 20s or 30s or anything like that. I can tell a difference in me. It's kind of I just don't care about it anymore. I want to just be me, obviously, and just speak my truth. And if people are able to understand it, then yeah, I'm fired up. But if people don't, then I know they're not ready for it, and that's cool too. I'm not gonna, I'm not here to shove my experiences down people's throats and make them believe what I believe. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just, I just speak my truth, and that's that. And I just really hope that people can level up. That to me is exciting, to bring people up with me. If they want to come up with me spiritually, I want to bring as many people up as possible that want to go in that direction. Then I will invest in them. But if someone is not ready and they don't want to, I don't want to waste my time on them. It's you either can digest it or you can't, and that's cool with me. I don't lose sleep over it, because there's been times that I have listened to people that were spiritually really evolved, way past what I was. And I was there was things they would say that I was okay, I was totally ready to hear some of what they said. But then other things that they were speaking about, I was I'm not spiritually ready to digest this yet. I need to go at my pace. I can digest this, but I can't digest that. But but at no point did I ever think that they were a bad person or a bad speaker. I thought they were amazing. Wow, they're spiritually so evolved. I can come back and learn more from this person when I'm ready. And so everyone is at their own spiritual level of evolvement. So I just hope you guys don't compare yourself to other people, because that's just not, you should be comparing yourself to your yesterday self. And always be in competition. If you're going to have a competitive mind or spirit, be competitive of yourself. It's not going to do you any good at all whatsoever. You'll be out of alignment if you start competing with other people. That gets you out of alignment with your pure heart. So always just trying to be look at who you were a week ago and think, wow, I've really leveled up in that week. I've actually wow. Or look at yourself a year ago. Okay, I've come a long ways in this year, spiritually speaking. I no longer do these things. I no longer act this way. I no longer allow negative people in my life. Always be reflecting or competing against yourself if you have that kind of mindset. But other than that, you should never be competing against anyone else. You should never compare yourself to anyone else, because that now is bringing you out of alignment with your core, with your heart. You don't want to get out of alignment with that. You always want to walk in self-love and others, loving everybody and that includes yourself. So yeah. Lance says neurodivergent is a different language from neurotypical, lost in translation. I don't even know if that was a question. Does anybody have any other stories or questions or? Okay, so Rob Smiley is like, that would be Angela Bassett, Scarlett Johansson. I got so many celebrity crushes. Oh, wow. I don't, but yeah, most people do. I've never had like a celebrity crush. Yeah. Because you know what? Most of them aren't even human, you guys. I mean, I'm not going to crush on somebody that, first of all, isn't human, is a transgender, and is not, I'm sorry. And I don't even know them. Most of them have, even, no matter what species they are, they've already sold their soul. So, I mean, if you're crushing on something like that, I mean, like, I couldn't personally crush on something that I know isn't pure-hearted, and I don't really care about like a species. Like, I don't care if they're like half amphibian or whatever. I don't really care about that. I just am like, if I don't know this person spiritually, they don't even have a soul, they're a clone or they're just another vampire immortal, I'm like, nah. Yeah, I'm crushing on myself probably, but yeah, I don't know why. Even when I was a kid, I never crushed on anybody. Like, I had favorite groups. Don't get me wrong. I had favorite like actresses or actors, and it had nothing to do with the way they looked. It was the fact that they could act. They had talent. And then like music, like I had my favorite bands, but it had nothing to do with the way they looked. Nothing. I just if they had made really good talented music that jived with me, I was like, but I wasn't even like the teen that had posters everywhere. Like some of my friends, I'd go to their house and they would have posters of all these like celebrity singers or whatever, like posters everywhere of young guys and stuff that were like actors or singers or whatever. And I'm like, you don't even know them. What the hell? Anyway, so yeah, I was not one of those teenagers. I was like the teenager that had like animals. Like, I loved horses, and like, so I'd have horses and figurines and horses and rabbits and dogs or whatever. Like, I was an animal person. So as far as like what I had displayed in my teenage room, like, it was not posters of celebrities or singers or whatever. It was always like stupid things like horses or whatever. I'm trying to think what else. I had like these cork boards that I would put up like important notes, like from my friends. I love to display things that, and this is when I was a teenager, you guys, when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. I like had these big cork boards in my room, and I would thumbtack letters that I'd get from my friends or from a boy I really liked at school. But usually it was from my best girlfriends. Like, because during class, we'd send each other letters, not letters, but like notes. That's how we communicated during class. I'd write a note to Samantha over here, and then she'd send me a note, and, we make sure the teacher wasn't looking. And then if it was a really cool note, I would like save it and thumbtack it to my corkboard. Or if it was a note from a boy I really liked, because I had boyfriends, I would like thumbtack it. I don't know. I was like sentimental that way. I was very sentimental, but like, I was not your typical teenager. Oh my God. But I'm not saying I didn't like music. I'm not saying I didn't like, but I never had celebrity crushes. I always thought like certain people were good at what they did. I always had my favorite actors or actresses, but it had nothing to do with the way they looked. Like, if someone doesn't have talent, I'm like, whatever. I don't care what you look like. Bye. So that's how I am. Or if they don't have like, if they're not authentic, like, I can't stand fake people. So like, but yeah, I was more like I was an unusual teenager, you guys. I was not your typical teenager. Just, I don't know. But like all my other girlfriends, man, they have like posters everywhere of their crushes. And I'm just like, whatever, yeah. And back in the day, it was posters on the wall, you guys. That's how old school I am. But yeah. Kentucky Trailer Man says, I go silent to deal with my inner pain. I'm absolutely the same way as you. Absolutely. When I'm going through emotional pain, even physical pain, I shut down. I close everybody out. And that's how I deal with it. And I'll emerge when I'm ready. And you can't make me come out of my shell until I'm ready. So Lance says, Scorpio with a Libra rising. Nothing wrong with that, Lance. Like you were probably here during my live where I talked about how Libra used to be, or Scorpio used to be part of Libra. Libra used to be part of Scorpio. They used to be one. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, Scorpio is always leaning back to try to be like Libra. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think that if there wasn't so many different astrological zodiac signs and flavors, life would be so boring. I would get bored. I already get bored as it is, but like there has to be variety. Like seriously, if everyone was just a Scorpio, oh my God, really? How boring would that be? Maybe not so boring because Scorpios are pretty dang passionate. But if all the world was just all Capricorns, or if everyone was just like, hold on, you guys. Can't believe I'm on here this long. You guys are keeping me going. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on something important. Okay. So yeah, I think that there needs to be a variety of different personalities and people out there. So I think that's why, I think it's cool that there's cryptids out there. Like how boring would it be if there wasn't birds in the air? How boring would life be if there wasn't different species of animals or fish or reptiles? And then you add the other layer of like the different flavors of the spiritual realm and the different flavors of the cryptid realm. Like seriously, it would be such a boring, I don't know. That's just me. That's the way I think. Everything to me is like a mystery until it isn't, because I investigate the hell out of everything. So I get to the bottom of this. I'm going to get to the roots. I'm going to know everything. You guys like that too? If you're a Scorpio energy out there or Virgo energy, are you like that? You're like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Like I'm going to investigate this like all the way straight down all the rabbit holes. Anyways, Scott says, I got to walk the dogs. Okay, bye, Scott. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm going to be on here tomorrow. And tomorrow, I'm going to let it be a surprise. Actually, it won't be a surprise because once I jump off of here, I'm going to put a community post up about what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. But it will be Scorpio related, so don't you all worry. Okay, tomorrow is the Scorpio day. So yeah, I actually am going to jump off of here, guys, because it's been 3 hours and oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on here this long. This is amazing. I feel like I didn't even really talk about anything either. I was like, I'm trying to spend a lot of time in the chat, making sure I don't miss anybody's questions or stories, because I really love hearing like what you guys experience. Like that's what makes this so exciting, is the fact that we all have life experiences. We all have stories to tell. And I know like once you guys realize that you can totally be yourself around me, which I hope you guys are anyways, because I wouldn't want you to be fake. But like most people do automatically feel comfortable in my presence. And that's why everyone tells me their whole entire life story, which, you know what, I'm like, oh. Especially when I get Geminis and oh my word, I'm like, can I please have an out-of-body experience right now, please? Because this person is prattling on so long that I am literally going to lose my poop. Because because like Geminis, they'll talk, and sometimes it's interesting, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes I'll just talk about a golf ball and the way it was produced and made and designed for like 3 hours straight. And I'm just like, I'm going to have an out of body experience right damn now. Leave you with this dead body and I'm gone. I'm out of here. So yeah. And if I'm talking, I'm like, oh, wow, I hardly ever talk, you guys. I conserve my energy. If I'm not on YouTube talking, I'm not talking. I have very little conversations. I don't even talk to myself. Like once in a great while, I might say something to myself, but usually, I mean, everything is just like internally. Let's see her. Kentucky Trailerman says, the Scorpio sits at the bottom, just waiting to guide the spiritually down back to the light of light. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's so, yeah, I can totally vibe with that statement so much. So I'm on board with that. I truly agree with that 100%. And even if I didn't, I think it's awesome. So, you know what? I don't even have to agree with you guys. I just think that the fact that you express who you are is awesome. I don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get upset. I don't care. You know, you guys all have your own way of living and look at things. You know, you all have your own path. You know, so Viola's. Oh, hi, Vizo Flint. Hello. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm scrolling back up to make sure that I didn't miss anybody else. And Scott says, I never thought about speech in writing like that. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we do live in a crypt. We live in a tomb. Okay. And, you know, and like I said, I'm not religious, but like all of the ancient texts that I've read, like Nag Hammadi, and I've read so many different ancient texts, not just the Bible and all of that. I've read like so many ancient texts from all over the world. And they all say the same thing, that we live in a tomb. Okay, we live on top of dead things and dead bodies and dead species and people and all that, giants, as you will. And so we live in a crypt. So like your doctor writes you, okay, so we have to go back to Hebrew. So there is no such thing as S's. So when I look at language, I eliminate the S from everything. So when it says, like you're taught how to script, like in school, when you're learning how to write or script, or like when a doctor writes you a script, take away that S and what do you get? You get crypt. We live in a crypt. We live in a tomb. Okay, so when your doctor's writing you a crypt, let that sink in. Let that sink in. Okay, take the S off of everything because it doesn't exist in the actual Hebrew Jewish language. Like it just doesn't exist. Because the language of the gods is Hebrew and it's numbers, it's geometry, or not, it's gematria. It's not words, it's numbers. I can't even talk anymore. I can't even get the right. Anyway, so like if you actually pay attention to every single word you speak or write, and you take away the S, just like I'm going to sleep tonight, take away the S. I'm going to leap tonight. Oh, heck you are. You're going to be leaping right out of your body in your spirit body. Okay. And a lot of times you're just unconscious when you do it. Okay. But when you do have an actual like lucid dream, now you are literally conscious while you're in your dream, leaping out of your body, and you can take control. So anyways, just like remove the S from the words and you get the true meaning. And you may not get the true meaning in English, but like look it up as far as like Hebrew, the Hebrew meaning. There you go. Everything is numbers. Language of the gods is numbers. That's why like I will do a video, a live stream video talking about how to discover your life expression, your destiny, and all that through your full birth name. It's called the Pythagorean system. Goes back to the Hebrew Jewish language. Okay, when you call it gematria or whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna jump off here. I love you guys so much, and I cannot believe I've been on here this long. But I'm so glad that I stuck around because we have like talked about probably a lot of different things. You guys are awesome. I've got to get off of here. The bathroom is calling me, and I love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow, and please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for being here. And if you're here, before you bust and move out of here, please don't forget to hit the like button, share my videos with others, tell your family and friends about me. You know, there's so many different ways you can support me. It doesn't have to be all about, you know, like super chats or whatever you want to call it. You know, just you showing up and chatting with me, or sharing my videos, or watching my videos till the end, liking them. All that literally supports me. And I appreciate you guys so much. I love you. And thank you all for being here with me today. And I am off of here. Good night, you guys.